Grow ganger, grow gangster. Off cue anime. Ticker in. Oh my gosh. And animate out. Semi-weather 6. As off.
South and west, just heading into our
I
viewing
cannot
area with
believe
a
I
line of
just said
severe
that.
storms now west of Tulsa. We have several hazards, and of course, the one that we're most concerned about is the one that could produce a tornado. It's north of Holdenville, near the Wetumpka area, lifting to the north into Okfuskee County. As of now, there has not been a tornado warning issued for Okfuskee counties, but as that storm tracks into that area,
okay, thank you. I might use it. I might use it this time. I don't know how critical we're supposed to use that many open.
There on Highway 75.
The one where it has the severe weather connect.
Tell me what you've seen so far.
And bring the Comrex up.
Mike,
ouch!
As this storm was crossing Highway 9, just about 3 miles west of Wetumpka, brief funnel was spotted. Never touched the ground. You know, it's about a third of the way to the ground. It's moved off to the north towards the Okemah area, just based on current path.
All right, thank you, Darren.
Yep. I'll stay with it, Mike, and keep tracking for you.
It's breaking up a little bit.
Thank
Probably
you,
in
yeah,
very
once again,
low.
He is tracking that storm as it lifts to the north. Pathfinder taking that near Okemah at 8:10 this evening. So that is the time to keep in mind if you are along the I-40 corridor in portions of Okfuskee County. This will be traveling over some more rural zones, but as it lifts to the north, it still has that tornadic potential, at least through about the I-40 corridor.
1 minute.
But right now, the warning has not been expanded to the north, which is some good news. We are also tracking some other cells that are located to the north. If you're in the Tulsa area, we have some heavy rain with an aerial flood advisory now in effect, which is for an area anywhere from Tulsa really to the west. Heavy storms near the Drumride area, also up towards Osage County. We just had a report of about 42, 43 mile per hour gusts there near Pawhuska. But the main line of storms is moving to the east at about 25 miles per hour. I'll do a storm track on this once again. It's lined up from near Pawhuska to Cleveland and now to the east of Drumride. This will continue
30
eastward
seconds.
movement at about 25 to 30 miles per hour. So once again, that will put it near the Prue area at 8:03. Barnstall
How come this
at
one's
8:09.
yellow and
Big
ours
Hot
is
Days going
red?
on there. So make sure everything's moved inside for that
Never
event.
mind.
And for the Tulsa area, probably after 8:30
I'm just
or 9.
seeing stupid
Voncaster is
stuff.
on that storm near the Drumride area as it
15.
moves in. There are signs of at least a weak circulation on radar, but for now, it is
10,
a severe thunderstorm warning
9,
capable of 60
8,
mile per hour winds.
7,
We'll continue to
6,
update you
music,
through the
5.
evening.
Start your move,
Keep it
Jim.
here. We'll keep you
Dissolve.
advised.
In 3, 2, 1. Master, it's all yours.
3, 2, 1, and roll D. Fade up.
From the News on 6, this is a severe
Number
weather
2.
update in high definition.
And dissolve. Q&A.
Good evening. I'm meteorologist Mike Grogan, continuing with our tornado situation update, and we also do have flooding concerns as well, along with severe thunderstorm. It's the whole gamut tonight, so let's talk about Viper. First of all, it is showing we have our storm teams out right now. Viper is very active at this time. We've just actually been issued a new tornado warning for Okfuskee County, as a confirmed tornado was located 5 miles east of Bearden, moving north at 30 miles per hour. So once again, this is the broad look at the storms, but the one we're most concerned about is now moving into Okfuskee County. This is possibly producing a brief spin up, and it has been a confirmed tornado on that cell. Let's go down a little further to the south. Once again, a number of lines here, but the ones that matter here especially are the flash flood watches for Osage and Pawnee County, and also the storm warnings for Osage, Washington, on down to Creek County as well in eastern portions of I would say eastern portions of Creek County. All right, so here's the tornado warning cell. It's near Okemah and just to the south. If you are in Okfuskee County, particularly around Okemah, this is the time to take cover, as this storm has produced a brief but a confirmed tornado near the Bearden area. This is lifting to the north at about 30 miles per hour with the potential circulation down here on the southern end of the storm. So as I put our track on here, you will see it impacting areas around Okemah
1 minute.
at 8:11, around the Morse area at 8:25, last chance
somewhere not close to this
and the
storm.
Oriental area at 8:27. And as I broaden this path, as once again you can get some deviation from the normal motion, you will see that that is going to cause a few other spots to be in the warned zone. That would include areas around Clearview as well. I would take your tornado precautions at this time. The storm will be nearing you within the next 10 to 12 minutes or so. This storm will continue its way northward. We have our own Darren Stevens. He is once again tracking that storm. Pierce's feed may have just frozen, but he is tracking that cell as it moves into Okfuskee County at this time. There you go. You can see his feed. Bit of a difficult area to see much to his east, as there is quite a few trees around, but as he lifts northward towards the Okemah area, he will continue to track that. So once again, if you are in central and southern Okfuskee County, this is the area with the potential for a possible tornado, along with some larger hail up to quarter size and some strong winds. Of course, the main potential is going to be.
Oh,
We're
he's gonna
going.
keep
We're
going?
staying.
into,
We're staying.
Northern Okemah or northern Okfuskee County.
We're
as
staying.
time
We're staying,
goes on.
Master.
We're going to wind the view just a little bit, though. Viper is going to show that is our
I'm
only
flipping
tornado
programming.
warning storm, but we have
Okay.
other storms of some important consequence further to the north. These storms are located from
Yeah.
Central Creek County northward into Osage County. These storms are severe with the potential for 60-mile-per-hour winds. We've had reports of at least 45-mile-per-hour winds near the Pawhuska area, and that will continue to track eastward towards the Bartlesville area as we go through time. That goes until 8:45 this evening for areas around Bartlesville. Tulsa not included at this time, but heavy rain likely leading to some flash flooding issues. We do have an aerial flood advisory also in effect for the Tulsa County area through the next few hours as the heavy storms roll on in. Here's a look at our tornado warning. It goes until 8:30 this evening. We also have the tornado watch in effect until 4 o'clock
Okay.
in the morning. We are also wanting to let you know
Programming's
programming
flipped.
is now going to be on cable channel 53 or digital channel
I'm calling
6.3 as once again we are
Okay,
dealing
thank
with
you,
the
sir.
tornado warning situation pushing into our viewing area. So we apologize once again, but we do have a dangerous situation with a confirmed tornado near the Bearden area lifting northward at 30 miles per hour. Let's go back to our Darren Stevens once again. His shot, once again, he's in a very difficult cell service area, but he is tracking that storm, has reported a funnel cloud on it earlier, and he once again also going along with that storm with the potential for possible tornado. We're looking at Pathfinder right now, and we are looking at that possible circulation. It's kind of where we see that darker green, that red color there south of Okemah. It's lifting to the northward, so that would put it very near the Okemah area coming up in about 10 minutes time. But now is the time to take cover in that interior room, closet, hallway, bathroom, basement. If you have that available, storm shelter, those are all places that you should be. Now the environment further to the north is not quite as favorable for tornadoes,
Got
but that
Furrow
isn't
out
to
there.
say it could not continue its track
Yes, he
that
is.
direction. Once again, that circulation feature we're looking for is going to be in a feature like this, mostly over rural areas of southern Okfuskee County, and that is the zone we're going to be tracking as it moves to the north. Well, one other area that we're watching as well, want to show you the storms as they progress eastward. We'll be putting in the Tulsa area a severe thunderstorm. Now, this also has had signs of some small circulations on the leading edge. One such feature near the Manford area. We have our own Vaughn Caster. He's near that cell, near Manford at this
dang
time.
it.
Just got onto Highway 412. The leading edge of it showing, once again, some turbulent cloud features, but nothing at this
Furrows
time
on
with
7.
an imminent tornado threat, but something that will continue to be watched as it pushes closer to the Tulsa area, likely around 8:30 to 9 o'clock this evening. We also are concerned about flooding, and flood warnings are up for areas west of Tulsa. Our aerial flood advisory not showing up, but does include the Tulsa County area, Creek County, Okmulgee County, and northward from there. So those are the spots that we're concerned about. Multifaceted severe weather threat, including the threat for flooding tonight. We'll go back to our Pathfinder. Once again, circulation picking up south of the Okemah area, lifting to the north. It will be impacting areas of I-40. So if you have any friends or family that will be traveling around I-40 in the Okfuskee County area, now is the time to guide them to a shelter or to a safe place off the highway as this moves across. It's moving to the north at about 30 miles per hour, so it's not exactly racing northward, but still lifting at a fairly decent pace. Darren Stevens is once again tracking that storm near Okemah.
God,
He is
stop
not
taking
with us
them
on
full.
the phone right now, but perhaps we can get him on the phone shortly and see what other things he's observing. Once again, quite a bit of lightning also seen with this particular cell. This will continue its way northward with time.
I'm gonna
We've drawn
tell
on a
you.
new path here, and
You'll
it does
have
put it around the Okemah area at 8:09, the Morse area around, excuse me, 8:23. Same timing with the Last Chance area and the Woodard Corridor area at 8:25. So areas in central Okfuskee County. Take your tornado precautions. If you're in the Boley area, it's generally to your west. Some heavy storms nearby, but this will continue its way, possibly clipping far western Okmulgee County as well. This is still a little ways from the Tulsa County area, but its current track will take it up towards the Tulsa County area. Whether or not it maintains its tornadic potential is yet to be seen. So as we look at Viper, once again, this is kind of the broader view, and it does show heavy rainfall on the south sides of the city. Also that well-defined line of severe thunderstorms now running from near Pawhuska, east of, just to the west of Barnsdall, all the way down to about the Drumright and Bristow areas, sliding to the east at about 30 miles per hour. They have dropped the warning for the Creek County area, but we are dealing with a severe thunderstorm warning in effect for now eastern Osage County and Washington County, the entirety of that county, until 8:45 this evening. So as we see in your corner box there, that is Darren Stevens live on that
That is
left-hand
not
side,
Darren
and
Stevens.
we are now dealing with the severe thunderstorm
I've got
threat,
Von Caster in
especially
there.
nearing that Boeing Echo portion
What
of the
I told-
storm near
what I basically
Pawhuska
told him was
and
that you will bring
Barnsdall.
up-
But
you'll bring up
once
the
again, the
videos
only
and
tornado
your
threat is
tracers.
residing over
He'll
the
ask you
Okima
for
area.
who he's looking
That is
for.
once again our new path, and you can see our reflectivity here drawn on. Likely to be some large hail also crossing over I-40 so in Okima.
God.
It's a very electric storm, likely very heavy rainfall. Ponding on the roadway is going to be likely, along with some localized flooding. A look at that
Yeah,
hail
I've
potential,
lost Darren
not very
Stevens.
high. There might be a little hail, maybe even in Southern Creek
Yeah, I'll
County
check
there,
on it.
with one cell that would be heading up towards the Slick area. But mostly this is just a circulation feature. We're concerned about possibly some strong winds with this as well as it continues to lift to the north. It will take it near the Haydenville area at 8:30 and Okfuskee, the town of Okfuskee at 8:31. So a couple different
Oh,
things
Darren's
that will
disconnected.
be occurring with that cell. Let's
Darren
go over
has
once again. Darren
disconnected.
Stevens
Nope,
not with us at this
he's
time,
gone.
but Viper 3D showing that Von Caster is on the leading edge of that cell. He's going to be tracking that into Tulsa and let us know if there are any issues
Von Caster
besides
right here.
a heavy thunderstorm with this. And as we take you out to his scene, you see
God.
near Manford, he's setting his shot there, looking towards the west, a lowered cloud base
Just
towards
ignore
that area.
completely
And
what
there
I
appears
told
to be a
him.
bit of a lowering, in fact, on that particular cell.
Have
It
you
appears
run that
he's
lower
just on the other
third
side of
T's
Lake
in
Keystone,
programming
looking
clip?
towards the
Yeah, we
west.
have.
Might be
Okay,
some
thank
us
you.
to run it
lowered
again?
Features here does not mean it's a
No,
tornado.
you're fine.
But certainly a very turbulent feature on the leading edge. That means some strong winds, maybe up to about 40 to 50 miles per hour coming in the west sides of Sand Springs, Keystone, Westport area. But we also might be dealing with just an incredible amount of heavy rainfall. That means travel.
Oh, hey, if
in
someone's
and
got
out
a
of
free
areas along
phone,
west
do
of
we need to
Highway
let
75.
the
Very
internet
difficult
know,
as we go into the next
6135,
hour.
that we're in
Here's
extended
once again
coverage?
a view of
Yeah.
that storm. It's moving more to
I'm
the
on the
east,
phone
whereas
with
the storm to the
LNS,
south,
so
this
I'm
is the tornado
stuck.
warned one. It's lifting more to the north-northeast. So that could eventually allow it to have a bit of a merger feature there as it continues that direction. But meanwhile, the high wind potential generally in advance of that storm, and especially into Osage County. If you're in the Bartlesville area, this will be coming in on you as well in the coming probably next 30 minutes or so. The tornado warning does go into, or tornado watch does go into effect until 4 a.m.
Hey, we've gone
also got a new
continuous in
tornado
here.
warning in effect now, just issued
right.
for areas in Latimer County. This goes until 8:30 this evening, and it is producing a potential tornado near Yanush, moving to the north at 30 miles per hour. So
Hello?
we'll switch gears over here, and we can see exactly what
Hello,
we're
sir.
talking about. That storm is going to be lifting to the north near possibly areas near the Wilburton area. And that will continue its way northward
done
as
it.
well. This is another
They've done that
area,
several
an
times
environment
now.
that is capable of producing tornadoes. We have some strong low-level winds. Not a very warm day, maybe not a day you'd assume there
Okay.
would be a tornado, but there is that
All right.
potential as the very strong dynamics in place. So as we look further to the south, if you're around Wilburton, now is the time to be taking cover near the Yanush area. If you remember, we had
Okay.
a tornado here just a couple weeks ago in this
All right.
very same
Thanks, sir.
area.
Bye.
This is a very rural area, very hard to
Katie,
spot
thunderstorm
a tornado, so
warning,
you need to just assume there could
tips
be
to
one
the
on
ticker.
the ground. We are going to do a new
That was
path on
cute.
that cell
Yeah.
as we
He
watch
wanted
this
to
lift
tell
to the
Grogan
north.
not
This
to
will
take
not
the
affect McAllister
video
area. If you're around
full, and
McAllister,
then-
even out to Hartshorn, this is not a concern for you. If you're in the Wilburton area, maybe as far to the east as Red Oak, that is the area we're most
Daniel,
concerned
I
about
am
a
going to
possible
call
tornado
tell Angela
forming.
she
It's a
needs to
brief
come
spin
in.
up that could
Okay.
occur. We're not talking about major long-track tornadoes, but ones that could briefly spin up and cause a significant amount of damage in at least a few locations. Dick Verreau's here, and
Well,
he's
that was
drawing
a
a track on
cluster.
the cell, and it's
That was
lifting
6
to the
minutes
north.
on the phone
It will
with
continue
LNS.
its way through the Wilburton area at about 30 miles per hour. So that is our main concern as this lifts to the north. Here's our path here. If you're in the Damon area, it's coming in on you at 8:15. The Wilburton area a bit later at 8:24. Ludi, 8:26. Panola at 8:27. And the Center Point area at 8:29. So that will be crossing into a slightly more populated area coming in about 20 minutes or so. That may continue lifting northward into portions of Haskell County. So heads up to folks around Kenta, maybe up to Stigler. That cell will continue its way northward. The hail potential, as you see there, not also a big issue. The real issue with these storms are just brief spin-ups and perhaps some localized damaging wind potential as well. So that may be a bit of an issue with time. So as we look back at Viper, it's going to show you the overall perspective. I'll zoom out here. We are getting a couple leading edge circulation features near Barnsdall. That would be an indication some strong leading edge winds on that storm. The worst of the storms appear to be north of Tulsa with this leading edge, but we do have the two tornado warned storms, one in central and southern Okfuskee County and another storm in central Latimer County lifting its way to the north. These are mostly in rural areas, but areas, once again, that could see damage should a tornado occur. And once again, we have had a confirmed tornado out of the cell in the Okfuskee County area, really far southern area near the Bearden community. That is one area we're watching. And we have our newest path being drawn here as we see a circulation, not an extremely tight circulation, but one that still could be causing a brief tornado. That puts it near the Woodard area around 8:31. Around the Last Chance area about the same time, Oriental just thereafter. This is going over a very rural area. It appears maybe the worst of the circulation feature may be just to the east of Okemah. So if you live in the east areas of Okemah, this is your time to be taking cover. It's going to continue its way northward, and that, as you see the reflectivity there, lots of heavy rainfall in advance of the storm. The tornado potential on the very southern edge there. That's where that circulation feature is. It's now well to the west of Henrietta. Not a concern there. What is a concern? Flash flooding. As this storm lifts northward, it's lifting into areas with already heavy rainfall falling. That does mean we are going to see flash flood potential growing in these areas, along with the tornado potential as well. As we go back to Darren Stevens, he's on that storm near the Okemah area. For now, we don't see any real distinct features that would be showing a tornado, but not to be said, it couldn't be found in the rainfall. Likely to be wrapped in rain. In fact, if there is a potential storm there with a tornado as time goes on. Okay, so back to Viper 3D. This is the overall view. The main band of storms is moving in towards the Tulsa area, angling its way back to the southwest. These have been tracking to the east, but they are going to continue to train over some of the same locations, which is why the flooding threat is going to grow through the night. Just so you know, the tornado watch is in effect for all of eastern Oklahoma until 4 o'clock in the morning. This is a threat that will be with us on and off through the evening hours, with the flooding threat continuing into our Sunday morning. So this will be a kind of prolonged event. Right now, the tornado warning is not for the Tulsa area, but for 2 counties to the south, Okfuskee County and Latimer County, until the 8:30 time frame, with a leading edge storm with the potential for high winds from Pawhuska near the Bartlesville area. This storm will continue its way to the east near Pawhuska and Bartlesville. Maybe we can even do a new storm track on that cell up further to the north on Pathfinder. We have our own Von Casser. He's tracking that cell as it comes in on the Tulsa area. He's still out by Manford, just towards the west side of Sandstorm as well. Some moderate rainfall, winds that don't appear to be overly strong in the Tulsa area, but these storms will continue their way eastward with time, so that is our main concern. We also have J.D. McManus. He is out and about as well. He will be tracking the storms.
He had 40-mile-an-hour winds. I'm sorry, Pascal just called to say he had 40-mile-an-hour winds in Bartlesville. Is that line
Start your move.
there? So.
Okay, good to know. Thank you, Dick. Once again,
40-mile-per-hour
winds on that storm near Bartlesville.
Okay.
So that is a concern as those storms continue their way eastward. We're going to put this on to
Good job doing that. Sorry I didn't give you any more warning than that. Didn't know he was going to start talking.
Barnstall, Okesa, Oshaleta, up towards Copan. We are dealing with some high wind potential there. At least 40 to 45 mile-per-hour winds. There might be an area with 60 mile-per-hour winds, though. That is our concern and why there is a severe thunderstorm warning for that area. Basically, in a line from Avant to Ramona to Watova northward, needs to be on alert for some high winds, so make sure you set everything inside. Also, for folks that are on area lakes, if you're in far eastern Oklahoma, maybe you're at Grand Lake, or you're down at Fort Gibson or Hudson, Tenkiller, you fall in any of those lakes, we have some heavy rain and a lot of storms moving in as the evening progresses. That means that you want to make sure you're inside, away from windows too, as these storms do approach, as well as in an area that will not be prone to flooding, because it won't take very long for these storms to create some very dangerous flooding situations on low-lying roads. Saturated soils mean there's quick runoff of the water, and that will eventually lead towards that potential for flooding. So as we look again to the south, we're looking at that storm track and the latest on that cell. There's not a well-defined hook on it, but we are looking at the velocities and still determining there is a tornadic feature, or at least a circulation, now just east of Okemah, lifting to the north at about 30 miles per hour. That'll put it near the Okfuskee area around 8:39. And eventually tracking to the north from there. As Dick continues to look at that cell, we'll see what he thinks about the potential as it lifts further to the north. But once again, just a quick reminder, we do have the tornado warning in effect until 4 o'clock in the morning, and they have expanded the severe thunderstorm warning now into Tulsa County till about, let me see, that warning will go until 8:45 this evening. So Tulsa County, the threat is there for up to 40, 50, and even 60 mile-per-hour winds. Perhaps some hail up to the size of quarter, though the hail potential is looking a little bit less in that storm. Dick, I don't know if you've noticed anything with that cell. What have you seen with this?
What catches my attention with it, Mike, is the fact is we look further to the south, the one that's down there in the
weather 5.
lower part of Hughes County, down there by Wewoka. They've also issued a tornado warning for that particular cell. That one is also moving pretty much due northward, and so we have basically back-to-back storms with circulations that are associated with them, and therefore the potential for that.
Guys, let Grogan know I will take the storm tracker video.
At about 25 to 30 miles an hour.
Trust me, I'm keeping track of it.
Yeah, and the continuous coverage. Make sure he's not using those shots in the when we're in CC boxes.
As we speak, at least as far as where the circulation center is located.
Because what that looks like is two boxes in the same shot.
Show you that a little more clearly. And again, there would be the circulation feature. It looks to be just to the east of Okima. Again, it doesn't look terribly tight, but
because we already have it up.
And again, that's a little further away from the radar site.
That's going to be the pizza ray.
Getting a little stronger, so they issue a tornado warning for the cell that's near Wewoka. And again, that one's going to be moving basically following along behind that one as well.
I remember how to do this.
Those two storms are the ones of primary concern for the time being. As you pointed out, we also have this big line of storms that has the potential for some strong and damaging winds. We've seen very little in the way of any hail with any of these cells. And then there's this one that's in the southern part of Latimer County. I'm going to reposition everything and take a look at that here in just a few moments, but I just want to kind of give you a brief overview and give Mike his voice a chance to take a little bit of a break there. As we look at what's going on elsewhere with the radar, I'm going to reposition. In fact, I'll give it back to you, Mikey, if you want.
Yeah, for sure.
Stem of the jib.
So we can take a look at that one in the southern part of Latimer County.
Okay, what you're looking at right now is our live stream coming in from one of our chasers. Quite a bit of heavy rainfall. That is going to be producing a flooding threat.
I've got to get
That's
that
a more widespread threat. These tornado threats are very localized, but once again, we have a couple storms back to back that are going to be of concern to us.
I was probably ill-advised on my part.
We'll take a look now at Viper 3D. It is showing that wall of water coming in on the Tulsa area. Once again, there is a wind threat, so secure any loose furniture outside. Maybe if you've been out enjoying the day, we'll make sure all that is ready to be held down and in place as these winds roll into the Tulsa area. By 8:45, that will likely be along the Highway 75 corridor from Tulsa northward to about Skiatook, already closing in on Bartlesville at this time. And this has produced flooding rainfall. In fact, this line of storms produced 6 inches of rain around the Elk City area earlier, I should say. And that was a flash flood warning emergency in effect. That was a very serious situation where folks had to be rescued and evacuations had to occur.
That rain's coming down
Unfortunately,
like crazy.
It seemed like that could play out in eastern Oklahoma as well. And now that is combining with a threat for a few brief tornadoes this evening and some high winds as these storms roll along. So we'll go down to Pathfinder again. We have drawn on a new track for the cell coming in to southern Latimer County. We have a new and kind of intense cell on the very southern edge, and this, once again,
it's not showing anything. I mean, a lot of rural folks down there, but no communities that are showing up at this time.
That's right. The current storm track really takes it over quite a bit of just forested areas, but this will be over central Latimer County.
I know.
That's where you find yourself.
I've been told to take the jib more than anything else.
There's a particularly heavy cell behind that could have some hail. The threat still a little ways from Wilburton at this time.
Yeah, we want to show off the red.
Towards the Highway 270 corridor.
Yeah, that's kind of what we thought, but
Wilburton
you got 4 if you need it.
We've been through this before already, but we might see at least a tornadic circulation feature rolling back to the north again. So that will be a concern as we go through time. Of course, that's one cell among many that are in the area. Warn Live radar shows that wall of precipitation moving into the area. This is sliding to the east. The individual cells, though, sliding more to the north. We've got the tornadic storm in Latimer County and now the one in Okfuskee County lifting to the north while this area of rain continues to slide into the Tulsa area. This will create very difficult driving scenarios around Tulsa. If you're going to be out and about, you know, I'd be planning for a time to be inside as the storm rolls on through, and likely not much let up in the rainfall for the next hour to hour and a half to follow as that continues its way. Dick, I don't know if you've noticed anything else, and once again, you can see some of our live feeds from our storm trackers out in this field. We have not reported any confirmed tornadoes since the warning was issued in Okfuskee County, but that still is a feature that we're watching in areas mainly in that direction. We'll go back to Pathfinder, and you'll see that the warning is encompassing Okima still, and the main feature is now lifting north of I-40, it appears, but another storm behind it, north of Wewoka to the west of Wetumpka, has that potential for a bit of circulation. Here are the features we're looking at. North of Wewoka, just that weakness in the coloring there indicates a bit of a circulation feature. That would be taking it into far southwestern Okfuskee County with time. And, of course, the cell further to the north near Okima. As Dick Farrow draws the storm track on there, you'll see that over areas mainly in northern and northeastern Okfuskee County. If you're in Morse, you're still on the track for this. 8:29 is your time. Okfuskee now around 8:40, moving to the north at about 25 to 30 miles per hour. The new scan in, it's still a bit of a broad circulation, but there still could be at least a brief tornado in there. Here's the widened view of the storm path there.
Since the circulation is pretty broad, I widened out the
Semaphore?
path there.
Resolve?
There could be a spin almost anywhere within that very broad circulation feature. So
yep, certainly so, and that's the area that we're watching. Is
yeah,
really
I put it under the door.
North of Okemah now. If you're in Okemah, still be in your sheltered spot, but the main circulation is lifting to your north. But there is another cell coming in over much of the same areas, still in portions of Seminole and Hughes County, but that will continue its way northward into Okfuskee County with time. So we do have Darren Stevens. He is going to be on the line here with us. And Darren, if you're on the line with us right now, can you tell us what you're seeing with that storm near the Okemah-Okfuskee area?
All right. Hit me.
Mike, I'm on the line with you. I'm on the old Highway 62, which is just north of I-40, and I'm east of Okemah on Highway 56 that runs, that back highway that runs between there and Okmulgee, about 2 miles. But what I'm seeing right now, as I was on hold there, I just got hit with about a 50-mile-an-hour wind gust out of the southeast. And so the area of circulation is very, very close to me where I'm at in this area. Not a lot of hail with this. The lightning has been really intense with this storm. I have got a really good view of the base of the storm right here, but I haven't seen any funnels in the past 15 minutes or so. But I'll keep with it, Mike, and report back to you.
All right, thank you so much.
Yeah,
Darren
he'll do that.
Just to the northeast of Okemah, reporting some strong winds up to 50 miles per hour.
He's just going to start texting me every couple
to that
minutes.
storm as it continues to lift to the north and northeast. That is going to take it once again towards the Haydenville area at 8:38 and Okfuskee at about 8:40. And that is once again with the assumption they continue the warning there. Likely a very strong storm with lots of lightning, very heavy downpours, and at least a high wind threat, and perhaps a tornado threat as well. He did report no tornadoes seen, or at least funnel clouds in the past 15 minutes, but this storm has a history of producing tornadoes near the Bearden area. There's a look at the reflectivity. A lot of heavy rainfall with the cell, with that other possible tornado just behind it, now to the west of Wetumpka, and that continues to lift to the north as well at about 30 miles per hour. This is a very cluttered environment, so a lot of these storm interactions could take away quickly the tornado potential, but for now, these on the leading edge here have that greatest potential for a possible tornado as these continue to lift to the north. If you're in Okmulgee, you're still in the clear, but the heavy storm is just to your west. And
Katie, can you give me the flip banner again?
To the north of the Okemah area. Here's a look at your velocities, and what we see here are kind of just a weakened feature of the circulation.
that's the base velocity. Here's the storm.
Oh, there we go. Yep, there's the storm velocity.
Just to see if it helps to if it helps any.
Yes, absolutely. And so we're looking where kind of green meets red in this case, and that really is just a very weak and broad feature to the north of Okemah as it lifts its way to the north. Also the one, this is a little bit beyond our radar range here, but it is also indicated by some stronger inflow there just to the west of Wetumpka. But this will be over a mostly rural area, but lifting into Okemah, or the
I've got it on this
County
music
area.
stand. I'll just read them as they come in.
Severe thunderstorm warning in effect for the Tulsa County area. This storm is rolling in on the city itself, and we do have this cell coming in towards downtown. Vaughn Castor is also, he's not with us on the line, but he is having a shot up, and he is driving into the city of Tulsa.
That's his shot right there.
Oh, yes, I'm here, Darren.
Oh.
Yeah, Vaughn's on the line. Go ahead, Vaughn.
Okay, Vaughn, go ahead. Tell us what you're seeing in the Tulsa area.
Hit me.
Yeah, Mike, I'm just
Hit me when
coming in
you
on the
can.
west side of downtown. Extremely heavy rain, and I've just recently started seeing quite a bit of lightning pick up. So it seems that this storm may be strengthening here. So we will keep watching it as it comes through the Tulsa Metro and keep you advised, Mike. Back to you.
Thank you, Vaughn. And Vaughn, one more question for you. Have you noticed any sort of winds, maybe in excess of 40 miles per hour, as these have rolled in on your location?
No, I would say that's probably about the peak winds that I've seen or felt. But again, the more
Blake or Christian, if we get a free moment, one of y'all take turns getting some pizzas over here in the lobby behind the control room, next to the control room.
So driving is making driving pretty hazardous, plus it has nowhere to go. So we'll keep following this through Tulsa, Mike.
Okay, thank you very much, Vaughn. Once again, that is a storm with wind potential and also a flooding potential as this moves in on the Tulsa area. Right now, it's lined up from just west of Bartlesville to Tulsa. The strongest portion of that line appears to be up near the Bartlesville area. That is where winds may be up to near that 60-mile-per-hour mark. This is a kind of a marginal severe weather storm, but still one that could cause a few issues out there, especially if you're caught out in the storm. Warren Live radar closer in shows that storm just rolling into the Bartlesville area, as far north as Caney, Kansas, but the storms do weaken a bit as they are heading into the Kansas counties there. But we're going to take you back to Pathfinder. We have one more tornadic warned storm. This one has a bit of a better circulation feature with it.
It's gotten a little better. The circulation a little tighter than it was the last time we looked at it, Mike.
Okay, thank you. And he has put the path on there. Now Panola is in its path at 848. It does take it over much of the areas that did see that tornado just a couple weeks ago, I believe.
And notice it's headed generally towards Red Oak once again.
Yeah, and that would be a problem, as once again they have storm cleanup in that area. So this would just only exacerbate that situation.
Put it into motion there for you, kind of see what it's doing.
There we go. You can see it is lifting to the north with a bit of a hail core potential there to the southwest of Bengal and also
Stevens,
to the west of Talihina. This is not an immediate threat to Talihina, though it is just to your west, lifting to the north. There are a few storms behind it, and there's that small core of hail potential there in the purple. That will lift its way northward as well, with the tornadic feature very close to there at that time. All right, so that is the storm that is also tornado warned. We also have the storm that is near the Okfuskee County area. That is the storm that has had a history of producing tornadoes. Here's a look at your overall map. There is the tornado warning now that has been expanded into now portions of northern Okmulgee County, southeastern Creek County, and far northeastern Okfuskee County, I believe. And that does go up until 9 o'clock this evening, I believe. It is capable of producing a tornado. It was located near Okfuskee, and it has increased its forward speed now at about 35 miles per hour. So that's just so you know, tornado warnings now just to the south of Tulsa through about the 9 o'clock hour. All right, we'll go back to Viper 3D. It does show heavy rainfall, and that tornadic storm is now located there over Okfuskee County, lifting to the north. We're going to go back to Pathfinder, and what you'll see here, we're looking at the circulation feature there. It's a bit diffuse, but it's located right where Dick is drawing that.
Well, actually, it's kind of hard to pick out. There's several circulation features down there.
Yeah, there are, and that's why this is a dangerous cell, as there could be a quick spin up in several different points.
There's one circulation feature I've kind of put a bit of a track on, and it looks like there's another one maybe a little bit further south. Again, kind of hard to be too sure as to which one is the most dominant.
And it does speak to the environment that we're in. This is a highly sheared, low-level environment. Basically, what I mean by that is that the winds are turning at the lowest levels, and that's conducive for the formation of at least brief tornadoes. And we're fortunate that the instability, the amount of heating and moisture at the surface, is not any greater than it is. Otherwise, we'd be in a very dangerous scenario. But this is still dangerous for areas in at its immediate path. So as you see here, the Okfuskee area about at this time is where that feature will be, near the Tuskegee area at 836 and around Edna at 847. This will be taking it up near the Beggs area as well. We do still have Darren Stevens on the line with us.
Rest of the Red Oak area as far as that circulation center itself, but as you can see, it's
I'm going to
actually
turn this down a little bit.
Down there,
There we go.
So that storm is certainly a little more of an issue. In fact, I may need to reposition the track here just a bit to bring it a little more northward instead of that northeasterly direction that I had there.
Okay, all right.
Stem of the jib.
That, Dick. And again,
Start to move.
Oh, you're talking about the keys?
There we go.
Wherever she
Eastern
needs them.
Creek, and that
Semi
includes
two.
southeastern
Ready
Osage
to?
County, western Rogers,
Semi with a 6.
northwestern Wagner, and southern Washington counties. That is officially until 9:15. We're at
And dissolve.
8:48 right now. Heavy rain
Man,
and
neither do I
thunderstorms.
anymore.
Also the storm down to the south of us.
I haven't
We're
done
still
it in this
watching that one
capacity.
from Neoka to Beggs to around the Winchester area. That still, even though the circulation feature is very weak on that right now, that doesn't
Gilmore,
mean
they're
that
keeping
there
it,
is not some
FYI.
issues associated with that. You can see the velocities as we look at those. There's nothing that stands out. We have just on the south side, pretty much of this new tornado
Where is all
warning area,
that at?
which is
I'm
across
not looking far
northwestern
enough down, I
Okmulgee
guess.
County. These could be very small spin-ups, but I'm not
Reminder,
really seeing
Travis
anything
will need to open the show at
very impressive at
59:50.
this particular moment.
Copy
But it
that.
doesn't take a whole lot in this type of environment because we do have such a unique environment that we're looking at. Further down to the south, again, the
I'd just
strongest
say,
winds
Travis, find a
associated
spot
with
in the
some of this.
rundown and just
we're
start
looking at
populating
rain
stuff, and I'll just follow
also the
along.
tornado warning Dick
Maybe
was
start
just
floating
mentioning.
everything else
That
out.
is, again, just on the areas right around Butterfield Trail to
This is
west of
good,
Red Oak
outstanding
once
work
again.
that's not
So
gonna
that's
air
a
tonight.
circulation feature, and that's
There
what
you go.
Vaughn was
I'm
talking
kidding.
about just a few moments ago.
Frame
with
it.
Some of the folks down here, very strong winds and a rotation feature showing up there just on the west side of Red Oak. That is moving to the northeast at about 25
It's
miles
going to be a
per
very
hour.
fluid
If you
show,
are in those
folks,
areas,
if we
do
have a
want you
show.
to be advised for the
So,
potential
just-
again for large
we're gonna
hail
wing it.
damaging winds, and an isolated tornado risk exists in this
Okay.
area as well. So just know that going in, that the potential is there.
I got a text
and
queue
we
right
will
quick,
see
folks.
that possibility for some strong to severe thunderstorm activity right in that location. Again, to kind of make you be able to see it a little bit clearer, this is
Gilmore, do
from
we have
around
any
the Wilmington
updates
area,
on
and
Darren
then from Red Oak,
Stevens?
and
Is
then
he
the
still not
circulation
connected?
features just east of Panola.
Not connected.
and that
I
is
haven't
moving
seen
to the
anything in
northeast.
about
So if
15
you are in that
minutes,
area, we
nothing.
want you to be able to take cover just in case for strong damaging winds. A little bit further to the north, you'll note that there's not much going on along I-40 except from Okemah and then extending back on over to around the Beggs area. This is the other area from New York to around the Beggs area. We have it circled right now where we're expecting this storm to move on up to around the Liberty area. This time it is a strong storm, but not a real violent storm, and therefore we want you to be aware. Also, severe thunderstorm warning in effect to the north. As we said, that's the one that's up around the Bartlesville area. So that gives you a pretty good idea of what some of these thunderstorms, what some of these cells look like. Also want to go back for a minute and show you some of the velocities that are associated with that, because there are some areas that we are concerned
We still got about
with.
9 minutes out, so we're doing okay.
Yeah, if you can just give me like a 2 or 3 minutes.
Sure, yeah.
I'm trying to get everything
With
cleaned up
that,
here.
some 60, 70 mile per hour winds that could knock
And
out power to you.
Katie,
That
I
is
guess,
especially
and I
true on
don't
the north
know,
side.
I guess we
The
would
Tulsa
run that
area
lower
doesn't
third
look
banner at
quite
the
as
same time. Is
nasty.
that what we would do?
And I'll have Dick
Or do we
kind
know?
of take a closer inspection
for
of
the
the
night.
cell.
You just said
that's out
verbal,
to our
right?
south and
Yeah,
around,
you did say verbal,
Oklahoma
Daniel.
County in
Yeah.
just a minute. The cell
Verbal
that's up
only for
around
9 on
Dewey
CW. We
now,
do
this
run
again
the
is a
banner for
comma
10.
head right in this area that we're still watching between Copan and Dewey. And then that leading edge is 60 to possibly 70 mile an hour winds, which now extends east, well east of Bartlesville. So this is just blowing on through the Bartlesville area, and we're looking at that to continue to the east at about 45 miles per hour. So again, that circulation feature highest right in the areas around Dewey and on the northeast side of Bartlesville. Then along that leading edge, there's very strong winds that could be in excess, again, of 60 miles per hour. The National Weather Service is warning for a possibility of up to 70 miles per hour. And that
Hey, if
does
somebody
appear
out on
quite
the floor gets a
possible,
free air with
that could happen
Grogan,
along
I
that
haven't heard,
leading edge.
I haven't
I'm gonna
seen
go down
anything
along
out of
this line just a
Darren
little bit
Stevens.
and take a look
Geez,
at what's
going on 20
on.
minutes
And you can see
plus.
that goes along the,
That's a long time. If
Clarksville
anybody
Road
talks
that
to
is,
Stevens, he
west,
needs to check his
2100
equipment. Just
road,
make
and
sure
then
we're
that extends
okay.
Hey,
around
did our
Shooter
closed
area.
captioning
And again,
ever
this is
show up?
already
Because
into
I'm not
this
seeing
area,
it in here.
moving to the east,
Grogan's
Oh, there
on
it
it.
is. There it is.
you're
I see it
right
now.
along that leading
Grogan
edge of
is
the
checking
60
with
mile an hour
Darren
wind,
right
so
now.
you're getting strong
Perfect.
winds there. Not quite as strong as you
Yeah,
move
they
to the
did.
south,
They were
though.
in.
The
They were
further
with
south
us
you go,
at
the winds are still strong at about
8:17 was
40
the
to
first
50
I
miles
saw
per
it.
hour around the Vera area.
He's
So there's
moving on
still
my map,
potential
so he's
for some
alive.
strong winds that even go south of that, but we get to near
What map are you looking at?
176th Street, and this is the latest update now that goes
The
to east of
fleet
there,
tracking.
2 miles.
Fleet tracking.
I
We
need to
look
get
also
that, 'cause I
back
don't
to the
have
Do you want me to come log in
we're
for you?
talking about the conditions that are looking
No,
to
I'll
be
get it at a different
somewhat
time so I can get it
dangerous
set up
in several different locations.
correctly.
And
Okay,
the
it's just
main areas are to the north
usfleettracking.com.
and then one to the south, and that's the
What's the
tornado
login?
warning that is what you see in the red polygon
Okay.
right in here. And Dick Furrow is watching that closely, and we're also watching for winds.
Bill said
that
he's
are
giving
very
all that
strong.
info to the Chinese.
Low-level circulation. Down
I'm
in
sure he
Robert
is.
County
Oh,
still
no.
associated with that, and then we have a another area that's just on the southwest side of Tulsa. And Dick, I'm gonna have you look at that southwest side of Tulsa. You set up for that one?
Well, no, I'm set up
Okay.
for the two
darn it, Dick.
tornado
Another
one.
jib?
Yeah.
I've got that all. Yeah.
Okay, let's go ahead and get you that. Okay.
I've got two different paths
Dissolve?
on here. Just
Okay.
Just kind of bring those two
Am I
up
with
to
a
date.
5?
And again, I'm
And
using the
dissolve?
velocities here. I'll bring the regular reflectivity in just a moment.
I'm telling
The northern
Rebecca,
storm
okay,
again,
what's,
broad circulation
what?
appears to be located where I've got it indicated right there.
Okay.
New York,
Q's already talked to
basically it's
Jakin.
big bags,
He's
little
running
after
up reinforcements for the
907,
AM show,
just
so I
about
don't have to worry about
9:15.
calling anyone in.
The southernmost storm now, the one that is again passed
So we'll
just to
have
the
some
west of
bodies here.
Okemah. The circulation feature down there would appear to be just west or northwest of Okemah. Morse at around 903, Last Chance around 904, Oriental around
You okay,
906, Haydenville around
Oh.
912, and Tusky around
I
914.
get it
So we
now.
have
Gotcha.
two storms that are basically trailing one another. The
That's
leading
a
one,
silly
the
question.
circulation become very broad and very difficult to detect, but that's not to say that there's not something there to be worried about.
I'm just standing
Now we're
up.
bringing the
I'm not
regular
going to sit.
reflectivity, and again, it's certainly not a classic situation at all, not anything that you would pick out at all, if not for the velocities contained within the Doppler radars.
I will do
Again,
my best to
yeah,
tell you
there's
what's
an
dead and
appendage
stuff,
on
but
that
at
one,
this
we're seeing
moment,
a lot of that. There's so
I
much
don't even
storminess
I don't
out
even
there
know what's
that there's
going
a lot
on.
of the
So
storms that have those sort of things on there. So this one appears to be
yeah.
the one that is becoming a little more,
well,
at least
crud.
The rotation looks to be a little bit
all I
stronger
know
than
is
that
I
one.
think we're
Just
just going to be
immediately
running, if
northwest of
anything,
Okemah,
flooding
a little
video.
short of Custer
So
County. The one
do you
that's,
need
basically
to
headed over
switch
Beggs
over,
area
or
looks to me like it's beginning to weaken somewhat, but then again, as it gets caught up within that line,
Why don't you go ahead and do that? Go ahead and worry about the 9 o'clock.
Too, as that merger takes place. So
she's still stuck in the weather queue, so she was just 13. I was like, I'm not seeing anything come up because I was looking at the 9 o'clock show. That's why. Okay. Guys, toss out your rundowns because we're in the weather queue. We're staying in the weather queue.
Hey, Katie, where is Darren?
Very strong circulating winds there. So, anyway, that storm's pretty dangerous. Here at 81st, I'm picked up tremendously. Travis,
he's west of Okmulgee.
Okay. Did you hear that, Katie? Travis going to help you with locations on weather trace.
All right,
yeah, see, I should be able to get a hold of Darren west of Okmulgee.
That's what's going on in
U.S.
the
fleet
Tulsa
tracking?
area. I mean, down at Red Oak and also in the Tulsa area at this moment, we do find heavy rain, thunderstorm activity in all these locations. So we do want you to be advised. As well, what I'm going to do is I'm going to kind of bounce out here for a minute and be able to give you a little bit more of a feature again of what.
We are 4 minutes.
Yeah, I was going to tell you. 4 minutes to the start
cruise
of the
up
9.
through.
I
We
could
do
give you a
have across
countdown if
northern
that helps,
Larimer County.
Blake,
That's the Red Oak storm that
if
we're talking
necessary.
about. Dick was just telling us about the storms that are located in western portions of Tulsa.
Will do.
Excuse me, western portions of Okmulgee County, northeastern and central portions of Okfuskee
that way he
County,
can-
and then our severe thunderstorm warning, which is now.
And we don't have to run
around the
open,
Nawanee
right?
area.
It's just
That's
a
where Pascal
viewers
is located
welcome,
right
blah,
now.
blah,
Hey,
blah.
Pascal,
Yeah.
where you at? You near Dewey or where?
Yeah, Travis, I am just north of Dewey by the cemetery for the people that are well known in the area.
We're not sure we're going to need it. I think Meyer's going to do a verbal welcome, and we should be okay. I can't. I don't know.
No, that is correct.
Just verbal only? Okay.
Yeah, my understanding.
But we have both just in case. Maybe just a CYA, just run them both.
Okay.
Yeah.
So
If you have it, do it.
What's up, Mr. Chad?
I'm going to go over IFB assignments here. Travis is on the weather, Mike, and should be IFB. Hopefully they all, the floor will have to confirm that if they switch to IFBs as well. Okay, cool. So Travis is on weather, Dick Furrow is on RF7, and Mike Grogan is on RF6.
He's up across the areas around Washington County.
Okay, a little under 3, I believe.
At this time, folks in Lenapaw to Nowata, we do want you to be advised those winds are blowing and going right into your area. And as they continue to track to the east, we're going to anticipate that those will continue to move in a direction.
I'm looking at the
that is going to,
DeGero
give us some
app
60
online,
mile per
and
hour
it looks
winds,
like
maybe higher up to near
Darren
70
just
around
doesn't
the
have any
Lenapaw
signal
area
strength
to around Nowata.
wherever
So
he's
if you are
at.
in those areas, we
That's
do
been
need
going
you
in
to
and
be
out on
advised,
38,
for
yeah.
that. Also, severe thunderstorm warnings in effect again for Washington County, eastern Washington County.
Katerra's going to go out in the field.
We're talking about Nowata and northern Rogers County for the strong to severe
Let's just get to
thunderstorms
this
that are
show, and
located
then
in those areas.
Daniel, I'll let you
And,
continue
we're
to
gonna
drive
take
it
a
until
look
we know
at,
for sure what we're
the
going to do
storms
here.
down to the south in just a second. I want to take a look at our
Megan's ready.
what's going
Don't worry
on
about
across
zooms or anything on
our
4. Just have
area.
a straight
I'm
shot
gonna
of
change
Megan.
the radar sites here so that
Whether or
can
not we
see
use
this.
it or not.
We do have some extremely heavy rainfall again in the Tulsa area. Flood warnings around the Tulsa area, mainly because of the fact
Okay,
that this
we're
is all
about
tropical
a $1:30
rainfall
out
and
before
some
the
really heavy
start of
bands
the
now from
9 o'clock
Oologah
show.
and then extending back east of Skytook on Highway 75 and around the Highway
I'd say let's do
20
both just to cover our
corridor.
butts,
And
just to
then,
be sure.
We're talking about throughout Tulsa down to
we will
Jinx,
run
extremely
open.
heavy rain.
No,
Hey, Vaughn,
no,
are
no,
you still
no.
there?
Travis will do a
If you are.
verbal welcome,
Hey, Vaughn.
like
Okay,
he
can you
like he
give me
supposed
an
to,
update?
and then
I
we're
know
going
you
to just
said
run a
again,
key under it.
extremely heavy
gotcha.
That's all. That's
rainfall
the only
across
thing.
that area.
No, we're still doing what we're
Yeah,
planning here.
extremely
We're
heavy
just
rainfall,
adding
winds
we're just
coming
adding an
over
additional
30,
element.
So the winds picked up and the rain picked up, and now we're getting,
Katerra,
river
Deer
right
07,
now,
is that what you said?
here.
Oh.
I'm even on top of this hill, so a lot of
Okay.
flooding going to be going on.
Gotcha.
And we'll watch this stuff as it
37,
comes up
okay.
from the south, Travis.
All right, and again, flooding
What's our
potential is
start
very
time
high
again,
around the Tulsa. If you don't have to
Gilmore?
travel tonight,
59:50.
advise we
1 minute
don't.
out.
You
1
see,
minute to the
Vaughn
start of the
located here
CW.
at 81st Street, and we're going to be talking about potential for localized flooding in multiple
Now, you said Travis is
locations.
on weather?
Flash flood warning is in effect
All right.
again for the Tulsa area at this
Okay.
time. So if you are in
Okay.
and around Tulsa, do be advised. that
Easy
the
enough.
potential for flooding is very high. And at this time, latest updates of what's going on. We continue to have flood warnings issued. A tornado warning now for northwestern Okmulgee County is going to be allowed to expire at 9 o'clock.
Show 'em
that
30
is what the
seconds,
news-
30.
That is the one storm that we had been talking about that was moving into the Tulsa area, but that one is going to be allowed to expire. So that is
You'll need to
good
come
news.
out the
So this
two
one's gonna
here.
be out of the
All right,
mix.
20 out.
And we're going to talk about the one that's still down south. Dick, I'm going to have you. If
Not
you're on that
yet.
one, if you
Not
could go
yet.
down to Red Oak and
15.
Give me an update on that.
That's what I'm doing.
Okay.
Not yet.
And,
Not yet.
tornado
10,
warning for Central
9.
Haskell
Hey, stand by 2. Come out to
County.
2.
And you're now
Dissolve 2. No, not yet. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and we're transferred, and welcome.
You are now watching News
Key
on
and
6
animate.
at 9 o'clock as
Good
we are
grief, Travis.
doing our newscast.
Animate
and
out.
continue with our live coverage of severe weather across
Do we have the weather ticker on
Oklahoma.
CW also?
That
Yeah.
is, the case for
How do we
tonight.
have to handle that? You got to handle it. And Gilmore run weather on
it's
KO.
fine.
Thank
Yeah,
you.
it's good.
Did we get on okay? Looks like we did.
Bug out when you can, Gilmore.
We have heavy rainfall, flooding going on in a few of these areas. We have a tornado warning in
I'm going to
central
put
Haskell County
MCR2
and
on
north
one of
central
these so I
Latimer
can
County. That's one
babysit
Dick
both
Thoreau
of
is
them.
on right now. That is a tornado warning until
Oh,
9:30.
MCR2's not over
We're at 9
here.
o'clock
No,
right
you
now,
nailed it. It
and
looked
the
great.
rotation
All right.
continues to be strong
Thank
right
you,
around the,
guys.
Red
Nice
Oak
job.
area. And Dick Thoreau has more on that one, and I'll be back with some more warnings going on for areas around Tulsa in just a little bit.
Yeah, that storm that's moving out of
Oh, you're not on?
Stand by the
southern
jib, starts to
part of
move,
Haskell
dissolve.
County, again, is moving
Stand by with a
pretty much
5.
due northward now. It
Then
looks like
dissolve.
about 30, 35 miles an hour. Again, we're using the velocities a lot more than we usually would, and in fact, the storm relative at that, so we can pick out where the circulation center is, because when we look at the reflectivity, it's certainly
Kind
not
of.
obvious is that there would be
I
any
shall
sort of a circulation at all evident
get
with
down,
that particular
get
cell. But at any rate, we are seeing
falling
the
on the
circulation is evident now to the
Station is now
northwest
taking
of
over
Red
Commerce.
Oak. And again, moving northward at
Oh,
about
the
30 miles
Comrex
an hour, so that
thing,
brings
the
it up in the southern part
boner
of Haskell
system.
County,
That's what they were talking
possibly
about.
impacting the Stigler area eventually if it maintains itself for
she
that
will be
long.
here.
Right now,
Or
though,
she will
this
be
is a
here in just a
30-minute track that I have on there, so that would bring into the Kenta area at around 9:15. That's 9:01 at this
34.
point. 9:17 at Sans Bois and 9:24 at Lafayette. So that gives you at least a little bit.
I
of
don't
an
have
idea.
a
That's
pin. What did I do with
largely
my
very,
pin?
rural
Oh,
area
it's
out
in
there,
my
not a
pocket.
lot
I just
of,
can't
very
dig
large
deep
communities,
enough.
but
You got
nonetheless,
everything written?
for
Because
you rural folks out there, that gives you
Daniel,
at
do
least
you
some
need
warning as to
this
where the
information?
circulation is
I'm going to get some
and
stuff
the,
down to
the
you.
track that it is taking.
Okay.
And again, we're kind of broadened it out just a bit. Stigler, again, if it maintains itself, you folks may be impacted by this particular cell, so I certainly advise that you keep a close eye on that. This cell also did have a fairly decent hail core associated with it, so as I check that has diminished considerably. And it's been one of the few that has really had any kind of hail.
Katira's
associated
DJ1,
with it
and
at
is
all.
he
So that may
DJ7?
be an indication that the
Is that what that
storm
was? All
is
right.
pulsing. Maybe it it gets a little stronger, weakens.
Oh, okay, you got it.
Which is not at all uncommon. But at least for now, we're not seeing much in the way of hail with that, nor have we received
And
any
I can't
reports
spell
of hail to speak
Katira.
of. I'm
Good job,
aware of
Katie.
anyway. The main thing, Travis, again,
Cat,
and this is
there you
something
go.
we've alluded
All right.
to, continuously, is the fact that these things are very
Okay.
efficient
And who's on
rainmakers.
43? Pascal.
The rain is
All right.
falling at the rate of about 2 inches per hour in these
Off
heavier
heads.
cells. And that's more than enough, as wet as the ground is, to cause some widespread flooding, not only street flooding, but also low water crossings and all kinds of other issues. So obviously that's going to be a concern as well as we go through the night.
All right, thank you, Dick. I greatly
Stand by
appreciate
2.
that. We have Vaughn, who's in the midst of
Dissolve.
the heavy rains that's around the Tulsa area right now, and the heavy rains continue to be probably the
weather
biggest
6.
issue. I mean, granted,
Dissolve.
tornadoes is a little bit bigger for a lot of folks because it can mess with your house, but so can flooding. Vaughn, if you're with me right now, I know that the heavy rains continue across your area. What do you have for us?
They have.
Hit me with Vaughn.
And seems like it's just picking up. It's raining heavier and heavier as we go. But I have noticed the lightning pick up a little bit, especially to my south. So I assume that's that cell that's coming up from the Beggs area. But the rain is just torrential. I mean, as you
I'll figure it out in a
expect,
second.
and it just doesn't seem to be letting up.
Vaughn's
yet.
up full.
Okay, and that's going to be a major problem around the Tulsa area. We do have just a little bit in the Tulsa area, and I'm going to try to do this without messing up the radar too much. We have we do not have a warning in the Tulsa area at this time, but just Vaughn, just to your east side and just up along areas of Midtown Tulsa now is the center of what was left of the most of the rotation area of that storm that had come out of northwestern Okmulgee County. We're looking at only 2 warnings at this time, but one is that tornado warning Dick Farrow's on, and you'll have another update for us.
Have we ran
but that's down
the
to the
programming
south again.
for
So the
Channel
tornado
6
warning
lately?
down to the south for you guys going up to near
We should probably
Stigler.
do that.
That is a very intense
Hold on just a
thunderstorm.
second.
You
Oh,
see Vaughn
'cause
located
that
right in
warning?
this vicinity,
Gotcha.
and then you see the severe thunderstorm warning now for Nowata and northern Rogers County.
Go ahead.
That's going until 9:30, a severe thunderstorm warning. So we're going to
There
continue
you
to
go.
watch that. Rockhoma, they have put it into standby mode.
you see
Just got that
Rockhoma?
text until it blows
Rocklahoma.
over. But the unfortunate thing is, I don't think it's going to blow over at this particular junction. We're talking about very, very heavy downpours.
So that's
of
it? Those
rain,
are the only
shower,
two warnings?
thunderstorm activity
Wow.
that continues to be very strong.
A while ago,
and again,
there's a
so
bunch
the
of
folks
them.
over there, they're not going to be too excited about the amount of water and rain and lightning and everything else that's happening with some of these cells. So if you are in those areas, just be advised for the changeover as far as that is concerned. The overall rain pattern and shower and thunderstorm activity continues to be a very big deal across the area. As we look at the line as it's moved, though, across areas from around
we can probably go ahead and lose that key now.
And now extending
Q says thanks for the key.
You're welcome.
It's really along Highway 169. That is
the programming for Channel 6. Since we're on both stations right now.
We're going to be watching how much rain continues to fall in these areas, because this will add to the flooding potential across this region as we work our way through the rest of the evening. And kind of looking down the Tulsa area, notice
So I'm
well
sitting there
that
just
there's
trying to
emerging
guess.
going on. A couple of
You know,
cells. Some
I
of this
listen to them on
area
the meetings
has
and
been
stuff,
picking
but
up,
I'm
and you
like,
can see that they're moving north. The whole area of heavy rain is moving east. Now, normally this would just be rain, but since we've had so much and its ground's totally saturated, we've had flood warnings going on, and with the flood warnings going on, that continues to just show how much issue that we're seeing across the Tulsa area. And then further to
Now
the
you're
south,
using
you can see how those cells
86, right,
continue to
Daniel,
band together
on the
somewhat.
CC
and as those
setup?
band
Okay.
together, this is I-40 right in here, and you can see right through here. And then the circulation feature continues to be off to the south and east. In fact, let's go over to Dick Farrow right now, find a little bit more about that.
Yeah.
Well, what I'm looking at, Travis, I'm having a
Look
chance
who's
to talk
alive
about
on
this. I'm getting very
35.
worried about what I'm seeing on the south side of Tulsa. And in fact,
Stacia
what I'm
called.
showing
Thank you,
there,
Stacia.
I've got those
Darren,
are
we got
range
Darren
folded
back, yeah.
The velocity folds is what
Darren's-
I'm saying. So some very strong winds appear to be just off the
We've been
surface there.
having,
basically
but
from South
isn't he
Tulsa
like down
to
in
about the Jinx area
La
to
La
near
Land,
Bixby,
where
that is
no
moving
cell
eastward at
coverage?
about 30 miles
Yeah,
an
down
hour.
by
So,
Robbers Cave and
the
Wilburton.
potential
Yeah.
is there for some damaging
It's
winds
still not
as
very
it moves
good, but
through,
at least he's got his
basically
stuff
along
turned back
the
on.
Highway 412 area and points southward.
Ooh.
Some damaging winds all the way down to Bixby and perhaps Coweta. So that is certainly a concern. And
What was that?
kind of got a bit of a track on there. And again,
Turn his
there's
mic
a lot
up.
of intersections
Did you hear
that
that,
are
Chad?
showing up on that. So is
Hey,
it kind
No,
of
what?
Dick, one thing too, while you're on it.
I'll
zoom
break
in a little
Travis's
bit
mic
closer
up. I
on
guess
that,
that's
if you
what
would.
the deal
And
is.
also, Vaughn is on the line with us. Hey, Vaughn, can you follow that along a little
Whatever
bit closer?
whatever he meant by
Yeah, you
that.
betcha. I'm going to take the Creek Turnpike and I'll take it over and follow it over to East Tulsa.
Okay, because right now it's just on the east side of downtown Tulsa. And
Like, is there a
I'm gonna
lag or
explain
something?
this again in just a second, but that's already east of Jinx and almost to 169. So in the center part of Tulsa, we're getting a strong push of wind. Dick has that storm track up right now, and that is a very meaty part of the storm. And again, that kind of merged
Daniel,
with
there
that other
might
cell that was down
be-
south, Dick. So once again, same
Uh-huh.
thing.
it's a little bit of a bulge
Oh.
feature there as well. Now, that's
Daniel,
not to say
can you
it's gonna
got
spin up or
can you
anything,
get this
but,
for a few minutes? I've
although
got to
obviously
go.
it's a
I got to
possibility,
go
but,
set up the
the
balcony
main
for that
thing that we're
guy
concerned
for the
about is
sports.
the,
I forgot about
for
that.
damaging winds.
I got
so
it.
again, as you look at the track that's on there, I believe that's on. Yeah, okay. Let me again let it kind of scan on through some of the areas that are going to be impacted by that, just so you can kind of pick out what intersection perhaps that you may be worried about.
Well, we're just setting up
It's
the
not
lights
to
out
say
there, aren't we?
everybody's going to have damaging winds with this, but from what I am seeing right now,
Just the balcony night lights.
cannot rule that
The
out
guy's
as
bringing
a
his own
distinct
camera and
possibility.
everything.
Rama, kind of a lot of folks are very familiar with where that is, around 9:15 or so, just kind of give you an idea there. East Central High School around 9:16. See some of that Broken Arrow, downtown Broken Arrow, about 9:17. So it's got about 10 minutes of notice there. Creek Turnpike there, 9:18, that intersection there. Country Lane Elementary at around the 9:18 time frame. So again, giving you folks a little bit of advance notice of what may potentially be a damaging wind event. Now again, this is what the radar is seeing just above the surface. There's certainly no guarantee that that's what is happening at the surface, but certainly want to make sure that you folks are aware of what's going on down there. And I'm going to have
as soon as we get there.
reposition the radar, the track here for a moment, Travis, because again, everything is moving. So I'm giving you a minute here to.
Okay. While you're doing that, let's come on
Stand by
over
the
and
jib,
take a look
start
at
to move,
the additional severe
dissolve.
thunderstorm warning, which we have
Ready to,
continuing across areas
and
right up
take.
around the Bartlesville area. And this is east of
Stand by
Bartlesville.
weather
Bartlesville's
6,
picked up
and
winds of
dissolve.
60 miles per hour. So the leading edge of this is now at 169, and just pushing
right.
on into areas right around an east side, and that continues to be showing up as far as what we're looking at
I will
right at
take
this
it then.
particular moment. The
Let's
leading
see,
edge is going now
I've
from
got
around
people
the
now.
Elliott area. We do have a severe thunderstorm warning
35.
that expires at 9:45 p.m. And this is going to be watching this very closely as we're talking about eastern Oklahoma now being hit with some extremely heavy rainfall. And because of that, we're going to also be requiring folks to know that if you're traveling tonight, it's just not a good idea, because if you travel, we're looking at conditions that are not favorable for that. I mean, for the next couple of hours until we get this heavy rain situation out of here, we're hoping that that'll be the case. But again, severe thunderstorm warning. That'll be going until 9:45, and that is for this time period of about the next 35 minutes or so. That'll take it across Lenapaw, Alliot, Delaware, Centralia, just on the east side of that. A tornado watch is also in advance of this line, and so this is all around Watova, down to Talala, and then through Ulaga, and then that goes back down to the south. And we have rain now across the Claremore area to around Owasso, and then that extends back on through the center part of Tulsa and around Broken
Thanks, whoever
Arrow.
turned the lights
so I do
on
need you to be very much
guy
aware if
for
you have
CBS.
to travel tonight. I know it's a Saturday
this
night
is
in Tulsa, and you
they're
expect that
doing
to
a
be
live
kind
hit
of a
for
fun
some
night on
in
Memorial Day
Texas,
weekend,
and they're
but no matter
using
where you
our
are, you're going to
balcony
have to be very
because
careful,
they're here
because
covering
the
this Big
potential
12
is still
stuff.
very high
So they're doing a
for
sports
at
hit
least,
from here.
some
Out on the
flooding,
balcony.
and we say turn
Out
around,
on the balcony.
don't drown, and so be advised for that possibility if you would.
I guess so, yeah.
Heavy rain and
They could do it
thunderstorm
over there
activity
'cause of
continues
it
through the
pouring.
Tulsa area, as we said, and then
Yeah,
that extends on
yeah,
further to the
yeah.
south. So,
But they brought
overall
their own
picture is for
gear.
heavy
All we
rains
had to do was
move
pop
slowly
some
to
lights
the east.
on for
The
'em.
storm down around
Easy
Stigler
enough.
continues to be
What's
one
up,
of
Kit-
concern, but the one that's right
Kristen,
in
I'm sorry.
downtown Tulsa, Dick's now just getting a closer view of that. And Dick, I'm going to have you zoom in a little bit on that in just a second. And
They
yeah,
got
because
their
there
own
is
gear,
a bunch of
cameras,
flood
everything.
warnings. Mike, would you give me is that the updated flood
What
warning
about
map,
it?
or is that just the tornado watch map? Okay, I'm going to take that for 1 second. Here's the look
It
at
should
that,
be
and then I
okay.
want to do the flood warnings
I
too.
think.
After we get done with
I
this,
hope.
this is the only warning of a severe nature that's to the
I don't
north.
think they do.
northeast of
I heard they
Tulsa. We
brought
have
their
this
own light
whole area
kit.
in a tornado
So,
watch till 4
I just
a.m.
turned
and
on
then
the
we have
backlight
one tornado
just to
warning
help.
that's going into Haskell, near Haskell at
From
this
what
time. or I should say
Charlie
into
said, all
Stigler
they
and
needed
into
from
southern
us was
Haskell
just
County
turn the
at
lights
this
on.
particular
They
moment.
would
So
take
we
care of
do have to
everything
have you
else,
be aware
microphone, everything.
of
They've
that.
got
Let's
all
go
their
on
gear
over,
that they
Dick,
need.
you've got
In
it.
fact, I
Let's
think
have
I
you
just
go
saw them
ahead
go
and
by.
take
So.
that for a
Stand by the
second
jib.
and go ahead and grab it, and we'll get some. Hang on, did you have?
Working on that as we speak.
Okay. Okay.
Go ahead and take it anyway. Even
the
if station's in
warning
there, that's okay.
continues
And dissolve.
Still
Just
for
shows
the
that we're working.
storm that's in the areas down to the south,
two?
is north central
Yeah, go
Latimer
two,
County,
yeah.
central
Well,
Haskell
no,
County.
keep it here.
Stand by with
areas
a 6.
still for the potential for a tornado, and that was moving to the north at 30 miles an hour. So it's a little bit faster than the 25 miles per hour that I had posted, and so about 30.
And dissolve. There we
Excellent
go.
move there, Jib.
Bring folks up to date on
Good
what
job.
we're-
Good stuff.
What we're
Okay.
watching or trying to keep track of
Similar
on
with
this
the 5?
cell that's moving through.
Dissolve.
Well, moving through the Broken Arrow Bay area basically as we speak, or at least headed into there. Now, again, you've got heavy rain out ahead of that, and so the
34.
winds is what I'm
Let
trying
me
to show
get-
you there. But there's been lots of
Great
rainfall out
jib.
ahead of that, so just to kind of give you an idea as to the areas that are being impacted.
Almost right now.
Again, it's that particular bow echo feature.
Good job, Daniel.
Which again on the reflectivity doesn't look all that impressive, but when I bring in
My
the
only job on
velocity
headset right
display,
now is passing along
this is
cues,
where the
compliments
concern
to us.
is. You can see again a little more of
Me
a
too. He's been
well-defined bow there.
texting me
But
too.
also we're seeing much stronger winds
Now
on the
that I got my
backside.
phone charged up.
Let me
He's gonna
just
think I was
interpret
ignoring
what
him.
that means for you. When the green goes
if
directly to the
anybody
red
runs
like
to,
that in a circle,
danger
that
Yeah,
means
that's News 9.
it's
I do
it's
have
a
I
radar
got a
way of
portable
saying
battery
that those are
pack
really strong winds. I'll
that'll
just
work
leave
for
it at
iPhone
that, if you will.
or any USB
But at any
if
rate, that
it's
cell
needed,
is again
emergency
continuing to move
use.
eastward. It's going to basically the heavy
Do we
strongest
have
part is
bunker
basically
set
right
up?
along
Not that
Highway
we need it.
412 and then southward through
What'd you
Broken
say?
Arrow. It's well east of the Jinx area now. Continue to work its way on east. We're basically passing between Coweta and Catoosa.
Is it
or it will be over the course of the
38?
next 30 minutes or so.
The
And if it were
streaming,
to maintain
the iPad
itself, and
streaming is at
who's
38.
to say that it won't? It could possibly impact
That's JD.
Inola within
JD, yeah.
the next hour or so, or in the next 40. No, not it wouldn't take that long. Probably about 35 to 45 minutes or something along those lines. Again, if we bring in the more usual reflectivity
That's
display,
right.
that gives you again a bit
Because
of an
Tony's
idea as to the
streaming,
area
that's
that
right.
is of concern. I can also bring in give you some ideas to some of the other areas that are going to be impacted by that particular cell as it moves on eastward. There's some of
Where
the
we got now
intersection.
should be
I know
okay.
it kind of goes through that fairly
We just need to know
fast,
where
but
she's
there's
at.
a lot of them there, so it takes a little while for all of that to be displayed. There's Rama again at around 9:17, so that's pretty
Big
close
chunk
to
of the
now.
REMs
I
are going to
won't
be
long
used
for
here in a
those
little
ones are
bit.
moving in
So.
from out as we speak. Broken Arrow South Intermediate High School, Broken Arrow downtown. What do we got here, Stacia? Okay, severe thunderstorm warning basically for that cell as it moves eastward for the strong wind gust that moves eastward. So again, the main concern with this is going to be damaging straight line winds, probably up around 60 miles an hour or so, and that gives you a bit of an idea as to the areas that are going to be impacted by that. By the way, this is our radar site located there just north of Coweta, and so we'll be keeping a close eye to see what happens as it moves over there, and everything's again. The other thing to keep in mind, not only is there going to be some potentially damaging winds with this particular cell, but also is the torrential rainfall, and we have alluded to this on numerous occasions. That is going to cause some problems. A lot of street flooding, hydroplaning, just about anything that can happen with high water is probably going to be happening for tonight. Go ahead, Mike, Travis.
Just showing you on a 3D1, as you take that, we have some areas that have seen over 2.5 inches of rain in just the past 3 hours or so. That includes the Bristow area. Tulsa closing in on an inch of rain now, so flash flooding is likely with that warning until 3 o'clock in the morning.
Okay, good to have that knowledge. And also, can you give me the flood warning counties again that you just had there? And just to give you an idea that this is amazing. These are flood warnings until Sunday morning. I mean, this is a significant part of our viewing area. And then you go down to Oklahoma City and you go to southwest Oklahoma. I mean, yeah, May is noted for some of the heaviest rains of any time of the year, but still, this is very, very big deal, and just not a good idea to travel tonight, and very strange to have to be talking about that, but that's literally what we have going on right now. And looking at, again, the warnings at this time, northern Rogers, and also through Nowata County, and then our tornado warning down the south. Is JD online with us right now? Okay, and the Rocklahoma organizers are announcing severe weather evacuations, urging concert goers to get in their cars at this time. So that is, again, just east of Tulsa. So this is a important part. Tornado warning still remains in effect for central Haskell County until 9:30. That storm capable of producing a tornado still exists in some of these areas. And I'm going to go, and we'll see if we can get this on the radar.
Yeah, we don't have JD.
There is a pretty intense area of precipitation right now, right over areas just around and south of Stigler. Big thunderstorm at this particular moment right there, and that is capable of producing some very heavy rain. And JD, is he on the line? Not yet? Okay. I'm going to holler at JD, and then Vaughn, I'm going to come on over to you, and we'll get a look at what's going on in downtown Tulsa, or the east side of Tulsa, I guess, here in just a second. Heaviest precipitation on the storm that is located down into the area right on just south of Haskell, is right on the county line, and just in the southern portions of Haskell County at this moment. So we do want you to be advised for that particular cell. And I'm going to back out just a little bit so you can see that there's still a lot of water to come in for the Lake Eufaula area for you guys there. And then heavy rains continue to be clustered across the Tulsa area with localized heavy rain and flooding in several locations. In fact, is Vaughn available right now? Okay. Hey, Vaughn, if you're with me, how's it in your location? Then we're going to go to Darren. Vaughn?
Yeah, I'm on... I'm actually on the 169.
Hit me.
Just making the turn off the Creek Turnpike. I've already seen one car that has hydroplaned off the ditch. So these roads are extremely hazardous. Probably speed down to 30 miles an hour. I see another one right here that's up against the wall. So very, very, very hazardous to be on the roads right now. The winds that I've experienced haven't been too bad. Travis, but
is that something Vaughn has to fix on his in their Chad, that screeching we're hearing?
Yeah, there's nothing I can do about that.
Yeah, that's what I thought.
What's happening again?
Or thought that had been an issue before.
A lot of severe thunderstorm warning still till 9:45 for you guys on the north side. Rainfall in advance there, not too big of a deal, but to the south, that warning down around.
I don't mean picture quality. I mean just
and then the
storm-wise.
There, Dick Farrow has been doing a storm track on that. Dick, what do you have for us on that?
Again, looking at the velocity, because it doesn't really show up very well in the reflectivity view, we find it appears to be just to the south-southwest.
Hey, Blake or Kristen, whoever's on the JIT, let's bring the iris up just a little. They look a little bit dark.
As it moves on to the northeast at about 30 miles
Preset
an hour.
The JIT there. I'm sorry, Daniel.
Stigler at around
That's okay.
9:30.
Yeah, I know that's part of it. We're just going to have to offset it, do the best we can. Yeah, they're just dark. I was just having bump it up a little bit, that's all. Yeah, shot's great.
Because the warning is supposed to expire at 9:30 unless it is extended, so that's the reason for that. But as we bring in the reflectivity display, again, you can see that nothing that would...
Are you kind of getting an idea what you might do with
be concerned
Megan?
about. I do want to point out, though, that the storms back around the Eufaula
Do we know
area,
are they just going to
moving
pitch
on
whenever?
Eufaula,
or do we know yet?
Longtown,
Okay.
And just west of Enterprise, they've already passed through the Canadian area. The radar just updated. Those are going to be probably going to have some pretty strong winds associated with them. There's no evidence of a circulation at this particular point in time, but that's obviously going to be something we'll just have to keep a close eye on with that particular activity also, Travis.
Okay.
Stand by the jib.
I appreciate it. And we are looking at a couple of locations to the south and to the east and in downtown Tulsa, and east side of Tulsa right now. That's a big blob that you see there, and that is a lot of
let me tell you what's going on in the event if we do a pitch to
another update on
pitch
what's going on.
Yeah.
Yeah. If we do,
I don't know.
What's up, Daniel? I'm sorry.
I didn't hear who this was.
I've seen several emergency vehicles headed south on 169.
Sorry, Daniel. That's my bad.
Earlier, when I came across the Turnpike, there could have been a power flash to my south. So I don't know, maybe some high winds or something to the south, somewhere, along Memorial, South Bixby, somewhere in there. But
nice job on that last jib.
Travis is continuing. Roads, of course, are just 2 or 3 inches deep in water, and very extremely hazardous to travel on. We're going to keep monitoring the winds here to see if we get any kind of strong winds. But right now, the roads are the main threat, traveling any of the roads, and there's still a lot of people out on the roads, Travis. So need to slow that down.
All right. Hey, Vaughn, thanks. Darren is out there. Darren, I've been going to come to you about 10 times.
It's whenever Travis decides to
let's go down
pitch
to Darren,
to them.
who's seemingly just south of the Okmulgee, Tulsa
When the
County
tornado
line.
warning expires, then they will pitch.
Yeah,
Got
Travis,
Darren?
I'm coming up Highway 75. I just crossed 231st Street South. That's the Creek Nation Duck Creek Casino in that area. To reiterate what Vaughn was saying, the rain are hurricane-like. I mean, it's just, you can barely see past the end of your hood. You have to drive really slow to be safe out here. I've been working my way up through Okemah, through New York, and that way. And when I came through Begg a few minutes ago, the local police had Highway 16 shut down. The underpass of the railroad trestle there, it was shut down. The water was already 3 feet deep there in that area. So I think that's just a sign of things to come tonight as this rain continues to be relentless on this area, Travis. I'll keep tracking it. Back to you.
All right. Again, I appreciate it. And again, Highway 16 going right through Beggs. There is a low water area there, or low, I don't want to call it low water, but a lower crossing where you have to go under the railroad track there. And so that's, again, in Beggs on Highway 16. And Highway 16 then comes over to Highway 75 and then heads off to the east. Now, Darren has had that report of heavy rains. I mean, we've got heavy rains all around the metro right now, and this is torrential rain, as the guys are reporting.
Traffic 1 and Traffic 2 have
rain.
fallen.
And so it's that
Traffic
type of
4
rain
is
that you
gone
just
as
have to
well.
be watching out for because of the potential for flooding, secondary roads, areas that are prone to flooding. It's just it's a tough night. In fact, flooding, and we do this in our
9:30
camps. We tell the kids flooding is the worst thing. There's more people killed by flooding than anything. And, we talk about tornadoes and everything else, but still something else. Pascal is up to the north right now. Is Pascal online yet at this time? Pascal is? And, okay. No Pascal? Okay, just JD. Okay, we're going to go down to JD in just a second. Oh, Pascal's up on the north side with that warm
just for
storm.
CW, yeah.
And we need him to kind of continue to watch that storm, if you could, Mike. That severe thunderstorm warning still in effect for another 20 minutes. Further to the south, as we said, the heavy rain, thunderstorm activity continues to show up down around the Stigler area, and that's where JD is located. And then we're going to get a storm track from Dick in just a minute there. But JD, tell us what you have.
When's this warning supposed to expire?
Well, Travis, I'm down here in between between Whitefield and Kenta. I'm kind of right on the edge of it, and just very torrential rain. Not a whole lot of lightning with this, but when it's
I wish we had video from JD. That'd be awesome.
Mile, so.
JD's on 38, right?
Yeah, that's what's so
still
strange.
nothing on JD.
It's just amazing how much water's fallen in our area right now. And that circulation feature is off to your southeast, so if you can continue to kind of move in a way that's going to get you out of that heavy rain. But again, if you're in the areas around Lafayette to LaQuire, McCurtain areas,
Daniel,
east of
can you
Stigler
flip to the CW on the
those
MCR?
are the areas that probably have the highest probability. In fact, why am I guessing in saying that when Dick Farrow has all the latest information on that? Mr. Farrow,
thank you.
Stand by the jib.
Guessing.
Well,
dissolve.
I'm looking at
stand by weather 5.
Yeah, we can do that. 9:30.
Yeah. East now, just on the east side of where the warning is located. I have the velocities up there for you. And,
before
again,
9:35. Yeah, that won't be a
track
problem.
moving north at about 30 miles an hour.
Blake,
Again, Sigler,
Kristen,
you're gonna be very close
let
to where it
Travis
may go.
know
Now,
that
again,
we will pitch. We will leave the CW at straight up 9:30. We will leave the CW straight up 9:30 and just stay on Channel 6 only.
Sigler will be included at 9:37.
So let Travis know, and that'll be in about 5.5 minutes.
Feature looks to me like it may have tightened up just a bit.
Straight up 9:30, we're going to release the CW viewers.
On the ground, unless we've not had any reports of anything that would confirm that up to this point. But still, it's a very,
we'll
very
be
intense
still
storm.
on Channel 6.
There's what it looks like on the regular reflectivity display. And again, there seems to be a bit of a merger taking place between this cell and this circulation feature.
Yeah, that's fine. We're just going to say goodbye to CW at 9:30. That's all.
So that's going to be an interesting interplay to see how that works
If
out.
he wants to wait till 9:30 to do that, that would be outstanding before he pitches back to Megan.
This is the one cell that is
that way we can get out of CW.
That's actually what we were discussing.
Yeah, let us get out of the CW, and then he can pitch to Megan after that. That way we're not all screwed up here.
Okay, I'm telling Megan right now.
Yeah, because that's 5 minutes away. Exactly 5 minutes. Yeah. Can he BS for 5 more minutes?
Maybe that's not quite as much of an issue either. So that's just something we'll have to keep a close eye on over the course of as we keep a close eye on this particular cell.
Oh, might talk to Megan, Travis. I think she's wanting to know what's going on. You did ask if Megan was, right?
In such a way that it could possibly impact the Sigler area. So we'll keep close on that, Travis.
All right. So that's going on.
You're very low. I can barely hear you.
Start to move.
Now, as we said, they've announced their weather evacuation, urging concert goers to make sure that they get into their vehicles.
Stand by weather 6.
Megan Farley joins us right now. She has some.
All right, you're going.
What's happening
You're going to 4. Take 4Q.
Yes, we do. We're getting a lot of reports right now of some highways that have been shut down. We do have Katera Winfrey heading out
no, we
around
don't.
the metro. But I want to first start with some video that we have into the newsroom.
Stand by A, roll light.
How much rain has fallen out to our west. A driver recorded this video in Edmond. Now we want to remind you, it's never safe to drive through water that high. So it doesn't take much to get stranded or worse. Now we've also got to look at some of the highways that ODOT has already closed because of flooding. Now this is changing rapidly.
Need a prompter up because I don't know where.
Updated with more rain falling. Again, that problem only gets worse. Now, heavy rains have also had residents in Elk City heading for higher ground.
Semi-A, roll A.
The maps of some of these locations here.
What?
Go to A.
Roll A.
Okay, here's our video from
Elk City. Well.
Rushing waters, they are swallowing streets in the small town on I-40.
We're going to B. Yeah, we got trying to get through this. Semi B.
Have already evacuated several neighborhoods and RV parks. So again, just
roll
please
B.
Do not try to drive through
Y.
that because it only takes 2 feet of water to
this
wash
is Red River.
And check out the flooding along the Red River here. Now, after years of drought,
okay, we're going to A for the tidal tornado next.
Flooding in almost 2 decades, and we also have.
All right, we're 3 minutes before we say goodbye to CW.
Already produced several tornadoes. Also,
all right, semi.
Including one
roll A.
between
White.
Minko and Tuttle that we're going to see here.
You have
Look at
keys
that,
here?
just southwest of Oklahoma
yeah,
City.
animate on.
And apparently we're hearing that one home may have been
animate.
destroyed
yes.
in that. So we've got a lot of video coming in. We've got our crews here right
Travis
now.
Travis wants Megan to pitch back to CW or pitch out.
Again, we've got Katera Winfrey heading out there to take a look at what we've got.
Megan
also,
doesn't know that.
The stages have been shut down at Rocklahoma.
But we're still 2.5 out.
We're almost
dissolve.
Some dangerous weather, a lot of dangerous weather rolling through our area.
All right, stand by 2 on.
We will stay on it. We'll see where all these roads are, where all the flooding is.
Because we're still about 2 minutes out.
We're going to send it back to the Weather Center to
all right,
see
ready
if anything
to
has
take
changed
2
in the last couple of minutes.
Things are changing all
Stand by weather 6
here. Yes. All right, thanks, Megan. And so again, a lot of things
dissolve.
happening across the area. The good news is the fact that it's just heavy rain.
2 minutes
the bad
out.
news is the fact that it's
heavy
rain. That just showed.
Not trying to be funny with that.
What?
But, I mean, rain can.
What'd you say, Blake?
Because we're always screaming
we just showed Trev 2 minutes.
Scaring everybody. But right now we do have one tornado warning. We'll be talking about that in a little bit. But first of all, we're going to just take a look at what I have beside. You see side-by-side comparisons.
Actually,
Strong
I never
winds
got
are
a
still
3
going
dot
on around the Vertigus area to around Catoosa and then
all right.
to near Claremore. Winds gusting in excess of 50 miles per
hour.
hour.
Do I need to re-queue all this,
zone.
Ray?
Also, that is a zone of some of the strongest and
I don't know. I'll do
rainfall
it.
at
Let me
this
get
time.
it.
So
You
that's
worry
like a
about
wall
switching.
Of water around Catoosa and then areas to the east. So if you're right in that zone, you're getting probably the worst weather in the Tulsa metro area. We have our flood warnings in effect for this whole region as well. So there's still a lot of rainfall and a lot of different things happening across much of the area. And looking at the broader picture of what's happened, this is a look at that line of storms, and you see how some of these storms are feeding into this overall line once again. And that's why we're watching that very closely as we watch and see some of these things merging in. That's where we'll end up with some of the more intense thunderstorms. So that's going to be on the east side of Tulsa, western Wagner County, northwestern portions of Okmulgee County, I should say of Muskogee County. And then you look at the warnings that we have up to the north. We have warnings in effect for Newcastle County at this time, northern Rogers County, and then a line of very, very heavy rainfall that just continues right across this area. And so we have it's called training. Training means that you have
I won't worry about headshot on him. 30 seconds.
Going across the area, and
we'll come out to 2 next there,
that are
Daniel.
Not favorable for travel tonight, and that is leading us to flooding. We have flood warnings in the Tulsa area. We have flood warnings across much of the area.
Did you see your 20 out?
Yes.
Rogers,
okay.
County
Get ready.
As well,
15.
and extending through Osage County and
Stand
out
by
to
2.
Weston Creek County. So
again,
pretty
10,
impressive, and we're
9, count down, 8,
very closely.
7.
All right, you've been with us, and we are now
6,
leaving CW
5,
and our news
4,
on 6 at 9 o'clock.
3,
we'll see you a little bit later at 10.
2, 1.
And for those of you who are continuing across
or
with us as we continue to move across the
7 6, and then
10 o'clock hour, heavy rain, severe weather, and large hail. Not really. Large hail is the one thing that's missing, and I'm not complaining because we've certainly had it.
Let's get that news on 6.
You see some of this light green that will start to pop up here when I'll put it back into a loop. And this is when we end up with a news weather watch that was added for eastern Oklahoma. That'll be going until 4 a.m. But most of the areas.
Go ahead and animate that key on there.
Rain and thunderstorms. Once that moves through the area, that'll pretty much knock out the potential for any additional strong to severe thunderstorms. We'll still have rain on the backside of this, and it's going to take a while for this to end because even further back to the west is additional heavy rain and thunderstorm activity. So that's why we want folks to just be aware of the potential right now has just been added. This is going to be conditional on the
go ahead and animate that out. That should be plenty of time.
Off to the south, and this is for the. I'm going to read it off as far as what's going on now. This is a new tornado warning that will be in effect. This is going to have to cover central Haskell County, and it will catch southeastern Muskogee County.
Great job on
County.
Stand by. Travis is on the phone right now, so hang on, folks.
On that here in just a second. Okay, and we're looking at the broad circulation. Still looks like around McCurtain. We'll talk to Dick about that, but that cell is still by itself and still on the leading edge, and it's moving almost due north. Pretty weird because most storms don't usually head due north, but this is where this is moving into that larger line of thunderstorms that is back out to the west. So that's why it's kind of sitting by itself.
Stand by, guys. I'm still waiting.
And you can see that line is still back into the Tulsa area.
We're trying to get Katira to do a phoner with us, which I think she's DJ1, but right now there's not a picture up on DJ1.
Yes, Travis, that circulation like that appears to be just immediately to the southeast of the
Stand by with a 5.
It is moving, as mentioned, north.
Megan does need to stay out there. We don't know when she'll come out, when she'll come back.
Begin to accelerate just a little bit. Again, that may be due to an interaction with the activity just immediately to the west of it. But again, you can see the circulation feature there. The lighter green.
You've already got her on hold.
Stronger towards the radar side, and where there's nothing at all, that means there's very light winds, at least in the relative sense, and compared to what the radar is seeing. So that gives you a little bit of an idea as to what we're looking at with respect to what the velocities are showing us. But when we look at the reflectivity, again, it's not anything that would be overly impressive. I mean, you know, we're seeing a lot of storms have features like that on there, so it doesn't look all that interesting from just strictly a reflectivity view. But as we watch that cell, again, it continues to spin up. It continues to reorganize itself. And again, it's a part of that larger area of showers and storms immediately to the west of it. At least it's becoming a part of it. Looks like a little bit of a merger process may be taking place there. So as it moves on northward, on up into that southeastern corner of Muskogee County.
Okay, I grabbed Katira's call, Travis.
Obviously, the Haskell County area there with the circulation apparently just, it looks like it may pass just to the east of Stigler, but it's going to be awfully close. You folks in Stigler, certainly need to take this one very, very seriously and take your precautions because obviously that circulation can spin up most anywhere within that general area. So I would certainly advise that you be doing that as we speak. And areas on northward from there obviously be keeping a close eye on it as well. Travis?
All right, and some information just in too. 3-hour rainfall totals are getting pretty impressive across the area. Mike just had some of those. Station Night now has some new additional numbers, and they're pretty big numbers. That's why we're having flooding issues. As soon as that rain moves in, we're getting well over an inch of rain. We're getting up to 2.5 inches of rain just with this system now in Bristow. It's still raining in Bristow, by the way, and that gives you an idea that this is not a good situation for us, as we're going to be looking at continuation of more rain and heavy thunderstorm activity for a while, because it's taking a while for that back edge to really get out of here. And so Creek County still has a bunch of rain happening in the area. In fact, taking a look at it again, what I'm looking at, this is Creek County, and there's Bristow right in the middle. And what I'm saying is that rain, even though we have the heavy rains now around the Tulsa area, we're going to go check on our chasers in just a second. It's still very impressive as to what we're looking at in terms of additional rainfall. So that is not what we want. The overall line of storms still continuing across the eastern portions of Nowata County. That extends through northern Rogers County. Then we have that tornado warning. JD's on that one. Let's go back into the Tulsa area, though, and take a look and see what we have going on in the Tulsa area. And at this moment, heavy rains, and Vaughn Castor is in the middle of it. Vaughn, what do you have for us?
Okay, Travis.
We might get one of Harold.
Between 145th and 129th, and there's a low area on the BA that I just crossed.
And live flag and Viz too, if you can do it real quick,
6
Katie.
to 8 inches of water on it, and every car that hits it, you can imagine what kind of
go for it.
Water plume that puts out. And people, I'm surprised it's not a wreck there yet, but between 145th and 129th, a lot of water, at least 6 to 8 inches on the BA right now.
Okay, and that will cause a ton of problems for folks that are traveling. And thanks, Vaughn. Appreciate that. Looks like you. Darren, are you back by a Jinx on the turnpike?
Yeah, I just hit the Creek Turnpike here eastbound. I'm going to jump off here in Jinx, and I've heard some reports of some flooding in this area, so I'm going to try to, locate that and report back to you, Travis.
Okay, and so far, have you seen anything really? Because that's moved on through, but have you seen anything?
No, just those areas I talked about earlier down in the Bay area, but so far,
one particularly
all right, good to hear, because that's what we're concerned about. Also, there's a weak circulation feature showing up to your southeast, and Vaughn down to your south as well. Broken Arrow area, we're talking about conditions, nothing strong there, but again, a weak circulation feature, and showing up with a shear marker. And we'll take a look at that in just a minute. Also, was that on Weather 1? Is that it? Yeah, okay. And here's a look at Max Traffic, our traffic alert system. We've had just a few areas, and Stacia brought this up. Most of the roads are still, folks are getting through. There's just a few small areas that you'll see that are red, and these are the locations where we're most likely having difficulties with the ponding of the water on the roadways. So for folks who are traveling, or you have friends that are out tonight, make sure that they are aware of the conditions that are going on. The overall turbulence and gusty winds are going to be expected to continue for a while tonight, just because of the thunderstorm activity. Heaviest rains now moving off on the east side of Tulsa and around the Bixby area, some of those magenta colored and I promised a friend of mine on Facebook today I wouldn't use the color magenta. He doesn't like that. I'm going to just say purple. We'll just say purple and leave it at that. Anyway, the Broken Arrow area at this time, Vaughn's right in the middle of the heaviest. And then also on South Mingo around 141st and also around 171st Street right now. And extending
they may be pitching back to Megan here to pitch to Katera. At that point, probably just call up a weather radar or oh no, you said what? Which ramp? 35 is close. It's not exact, but that would be the one thing to use.
11th to 21st to 31st, some very, very heavy downpours of rain and really not much lightning. Man, this still is a lightning-less storm. And the biggest problem will continue to be the flooding. Storm down to the south, though, with the tornado warning.
I can't answer that because I don't know.
Watching that and keeping track of that.
Or are you asking Travis?
So we're watching that. Also, we have some additional information. Dick, you want to give us a little bit on that, what you see there?
Yeah. Again, we've not had any reports that there's actually been any severe winds with us. But what I'm seeing on the radar, again,
never mind. Stand by with a 5.
Picking up some pretty strong winds. We're moving through Broken Arrow as we speak. and moving eastward at about 30 to 40 miles an hour. I've got it tracking, again, basically from Highway 412 south to about the Coweta area. So between Haskell and Catoosa, basically, there's a potential for some locally damaging winds. Now, we don't have any warnings for that particular cell. Again, just looking at the radar, it certainly suggests that there's some pretty strong winds in that area, possibly strong enough to be doing some local damage, maybe up around the 50 to 60 mile an hour range. Again, I'm not seeing reports to that effect, but I just wanted to point that out because that is moving in on our radar site, quite frankly. So we may lose the capability here shortly, which would be kind of interesting because the last time storm we had went directly over the Inola radar site. So we'll see how that works out. So so that's what we have on that particular side. I just want to let you know I'm keeping an eye on that also. Don't see any evidence of any circulation. Just the potential that there could be some locally damaging straight line winds in that immediate area.
Okay, Nick, I appreciate that. And again, as we look at what's happening, I do think that we'll end up with, we're going to, well, first of all, we're going to allow the northern Rogers County and Nowata County thunderstorm warning to expire. So that just leaves us with a tornado warning in effect right now, besides all the flood warnings that are in effect for the area. We're talking about extreme amounts of water. In fact, I think Stacia's working on some new numbers for us here in just a minute. We have that tornado watch, as we said, till 4 a.m. for much of the area, but the tornado warning now. And JD, is he on the phone? He is. Okay. Hey, JD, you with us right now? Did he drop off? Okay. Can you try to get him back? It looks like he's right in the correct spot, so to speak, or very close to it. Just on the east side of Stigler is where the highest potential is at this moment for seeing something significant as far as heavy rains and some potential for some flash flooding. So what I want you guys to do is to be aware that as we look at this storm and what's going on with it, the potential force, at least, there's still some rotation in that storm, and that is located just on the east-southeast side of Stigler and just on the highway, just halfway between Stigler and Kyoto. And so if you're in that area, we do want you to be advised for at least the potential for some strong damaging winds, and we continue with that tornado warning in effect for that area. And Dick will give us a little bit better circulation information on there. And JD's with us right now. Hey, JD, what do you have for us? What's going on down there by Stigler?
I'm in Stigler right now.
JD's literally the only one I don't have.
Southeast here, I do see a low area. I don't see any power flashes.
Maybe he's rim 41?
No, JD's 35, or no?
You don't see, okay.
Okay.
We have...
whatever that sheet I gave you is,
right
unless
now,
you move them
the
around.
the rainfall and some of the information coming in right now.
Yeah, I've got somebody on rim 41.
Any idea who's on 41?
A lot of issues down there because there really isn't at this particular moment. But the circulation is tightened up just east
Gilmore,
east of Stigler.
any idea who's on rim 41?
Tornado, it'd be just east
or
of
Bill?
Stigler. You'll have some wind damage potential in that area. Dick, let's find out a little bit more.
Heard him on the radio.
About Sand Springs.
That's what I'm saying.
41 is ours.
Also, Travis, it looks like the
I have no idea who's on 41.
Feature that might be able to produce a tornado would be just east of Stigler. But again, that's based on what the radar is seeing. So folks from Stigler all along, just east of town, need to be taking your precautions. Moving northward about 35 miles an hour. That brings into the Garland area around 946, Tamaha at around 956. So here's Sallisaw, so it likely is going to stay well west of Sallisaw. Here's Porham, likely going to stay well east of you.
I can't tell where that is.
Gore and Vian, and possibly along the
Looks
Highway
like it's somewhere
40,
in Tulsa.
the I-40 corridor.
They radioed to the news desk.
I know, but we need to know who it is.
Oh, I thought he knew who he was talking
to. So this may have
apparently Simon does know who it
several
is.
circulations in several other locations. So the times that I'm showing you here are relative. So if you're down there in advance of that storm, you need to take to treat this very seriously. It could certainly cause some significant problems. Again, having said that, the main concern continues to be the amount of rainfall that all these storms are producing. The flooding rains are going to be an issue and will likely be an issue as we go on through the rest of the overnight hours. There's a regular velocity display.
Who's
and
on
again,
it?
nothing that appears overly impressive. But that's
Katera, we were told he was going to be on 31.
We
were told Katera was going to be on 31.
Throughout the course of the
we don't know
evening,
who's
early
on 41. We're
hours.
trying to figure that out.
They're certainly not classic in any sense of the word. And they're pretty much rain
which is
wrapped,
REM 40.
which make it very difficult that if there is a circulation embedded in there, you're most likely not going to see it. So just take the information we're providing you with what we're seeing on the radar and take your precautions accordingly. Travis?
All right, and the tornado warning will continue for that particular storm until 10:15 So that is going to be a continuation of that. Also, the heavy rain and thunderstorms, we're going to be watching for some of those strong winds, as we said, not only down to the south, but also back on up to the north, and how that looks to us right now. We have flooding all over Sand Springs at this time. Several cars are stalled on Highway 97. This is a look at some of the rainfall rates and amounts that we're starting to pick up, and this is based off of radar estimates, and it is not really... might not be too far off, because some of the numbers showing up in a few areas as far as some of the rain gauge reports we have are fairly impressive. To the north, a similar thing across areas that are around Skiatook on up to around Ramona. So this is some heavy
Do we have any idea who that is? Are they even in Tulsa?
That could be causing us some serious grief over an extended period of time.
Okay,
the overall
then I'm going to take them.
For rainfall, there's no warnings at this particular moment on a few of these areas, so that is good. But velocities continue to show back in the Tulsa area for some strong gusty winds. Vaughn and Darren are both tracking it across the Tulsa area. Hey, Vaughn, what do you have for us, and what's going on in your area?
Yeah, I'm over at 100 Lynn Lane and
Gary Cruz's REM 41.
And lightning picked up quite a bit, Travis. It's significantly more than I've had, and the wind has picked up. Just recently, I had a gust up to measured up to 30. So,
we got what we could. Gosh darn it!
Here, the rain is still falling torrentially here, and I did get a report of some flooding around Sheridan. 41st and Sheridan up to about 18 to 20 inches with some cars flooded out. So 41st and Sheridan area, high water there.
All right. Hey, Darren, thanks, Vaughn. Appreciate it. Darren, I know you're just crossing, it looks like you're crossing the Arkansas River. Very much to report down there. I guess the creek the Creek Turnpike, even though it's called Creek, is probably pretty good.
It was. Came to change to the downtown area. Just some minor flooding, in the downtown district there along the cars parked to do the central shopping, but very minor as compared to what I've seen in the Beggs area a little bit ago. But the reports on the scanner of stalled cars in the 31st and Sheridan area, and water rescues were underway. So I'm going to try to make my way up towards that area and report back to you, Travis.
Okay. Hey, I appreciate that. And so again, warnings ending right now to the north. So again, Von Darren getting it around the Tulsa area, just heavy rain, flooding rain, and flood warnings in effect. And then we have
She's
the
holding
heavy rains
now
as well to the north. Pascal's up there. I'll talk to him in a minute.
Oh,
but
did you already talk to Chad?
Area, Katera is with us as well at this time.
Did you talk to Chad?
She continues to have
or do I need to let him
of flooding
Chad knows.
around
Okay.
Tulsa. Katera, can you hear me?
Hopefully she's there. There we go.
Okay, where are you, and what are you seeing right now?
Well, right now we're on 71st.
You have her key.
We just passed Harvard, and right now there's no really heavy flooding, but there is some water that's starting to gather closer to the curb. I will say the rain is coming down really, really heavily, and so it is making it hard for us to see through our windshield. And like I mentioned, the water is pulling on the side, and there's just enough water where you have that serious threat of hydroplaning. But so far, we're still seeing plenty of lights on, no trees down, and no major flooding just yet, but we see with this weather continuing
We got some
to
video
fall like
coming. It'll come out of a Sheridan flooding at some point.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right, Katera, thank you so much.
But we're
I
not using
appreciate
it
that
anytime
report.
soon.
And again, just kind of across the Tulsa area, as we say, turn around, don't drown. They're very important as to what's going on there. Also, we continue to have some flooding rainfall in several locations. A quick look at what's going on. This is a look right now from the Okemah football field, and that's just pure water out in the background there from Lucia and Silkwood. And then also, could you advance that one, Mike, if you would? And then also on I-40 between Clinton and Elk City, they shut down I-40 for a while. That's amazing when you shut down a major interstate, because they usually are well prepared. And you see the FedEx truck that must have hydroplaned or whatever and just shot across the roadway. So a very dangerous situation across almost the entire area. Looking back down the south, tornado warning continuing in effect. JD's down there as well. And Dick Farrow is looking at that storm and checking out velocities and everything else I see. Dick, what do you have for us?
Yes,
I continue to see a circulation feature that is fairly tight. It kind of comes and goes, if you will. These storms have a tendency to do that. They will get stronger, they'll weaken a bit, then they'll strengthen back up, and that seems to be what this one is doing. It's going through a cycle. It is moving almost due north at about 35 miles an hour or so. The circulation feature, as best we can see it from this perspective right now, would have it just to the northeast of Stigler. So it'll be moving through the northern portion of Haskell County in this area right here. Here's Sallisaw. By all accounts, it looks like it will stay west of Sallisaw. Here's Warner, so it looks like it'll be just east of there, but there's where the two turnpikes come together, so it possibly could impact that immediate area as well. So
run the
so the
10
tornado warning
p.m.
is in
banner
effect and
again.
will continue until 10:15. Again, it's moving north at about 35 miles an hour. Garland around 9:47, Tamahaw at around 9:57, Vian at around 10:09, Weber's Falls at around 10:10, Gore Landing around 10:12. About the same for Gore, again based on that current location and speed of movement. And again, it's not like you're going to be able to see it coming. I'd be very surprised if that were to be the case, because the system just has so much rain associated with all of them. Again, there's what the standard radar display looks like, and if you were to look at that, you'd say, a tornado there? That just doesn't make sense.
Like no. Oklahoma tornado.
No, not at all. Not a classic case.
Hey, thank you, Dick. Got to have a new update as well. We have a new severe thunderstorm warning now in effect for areas from basically east of Highway 75, east of Bartlesville, east of Tulsa area. And here's a closer inspection on what's going on. The highlighted area that you see in yellow, the polygon that is located there, that is a combination of counties.
How comfortable would you feel taking the board while I run to the restroom?
Severe thunderstorm warning till 10:30, as well as western Mays.
Thank you.
Southeastern Nowata County, Rogers County, southeastern
Yeah,
Tulsa
don't worry about
County,
any jibs
and
or anything right now.
Wagner
That way
County.
you
So
get
this
a
is
bathroom
taking in
break.
a chunk of area, and we have winds expected to be around 60 miles per hour. That's pretty much minimum for a severe thunderstorm to have wind gusts, but they're going to be right there. So it is a severe thunderstorm, and once you have 60-mile-an-hour winds, you can get shingles blowing off. You'll have tree limbs down if there's any tree limbs left after all the storms we've gone through. We have flooding. Had this report also that came in from out of Sand Springs a little bit ago from Highway 97 and Marl Road. Even the movie theater parking lot was waist deep in water. And so that's just a sign of how much water is falling in some of these areas. It's just significant. Here's a line of strong to severe thunderstorms that continue across the area. The tornado watch, we still have an advance of this leading edge until 4 a.m. We are dropping now Creek, Washington, Osage, and Pawnee County. So you guys that have had the tornado watch, which was Creek, Washington, Osage, Pawnee, you're out of that watch. That'll include Bartlesville, Bristow, Pawhuska, and Pawnee. You can rest a little easier, but don't let anybody borrow your boat. That's all we're saying. Eloise, you're in line for this next line of severe thunderstorms. It goes across the areas from, in fact, we'll just kind of zoom in a little bit closer so you can get a little bit better into the city street level.
Oh, crap.
Wiggin, and then extending to Chelsea, and then back down to Bushy Head. These are areas which are just getting ready to get pounded with some 60-mile-an-hour winds and some extremely heavy rain. Bushy Head, Foyle, Sequoia, Claremore, you're all on the leading edge of this. Pryor, you guys will be coming up in about 20 minutes or so. And then as you look around, the areas down through Inola now with heavy rain, thunderstorm. And then as we extend on to the south, that goes down to Coweta and northwestern Wagner County. And then also eastern Tulsa County. That is still including Broken Arrow because you're basically in the heavy rain and thunderstorm activity right now. And I see Vaughn and Darren are back in a little bit from that storm. Hey, Vaughn, are you with me right now?
Yeah, I'm here, Travis.
Are you on 169?
Yeah, I'm headed towards Catoosa.
Okay.
I got a word of caution on the highways. You need to stay out of either the outbound, the far left-hand lane or the far right-hand lane, because the water is so deep trying to get off the road that it covers about half of each one of those lanes, and you can't see it. And as soon as you hit it, of course, it's going to pull your vehicle, if you're not ready for it, it'll jerk the steering wheel right out of your hands, Travis.
Yeah, I had that unfortunate opportunity to experience here when I was driving in a couple hours ago. Hit one of those in the car just while your pickup, I have a pickup that's fairly heavy, and that thing just went off and wanted to go off on the side of the road. Fortunately, I was driving about 45 miles an hour, but still, I mean, if you're driving 45, 55, and then as faster you go, the more you're in a high.
Hold on, Kristen. Katie's got to go to the bathroom too now.
Thank you for that report. Hey, Darren, I know you're driving across the Tulsa Metro. Looks like south side of Tulsa.
No problem.
You get very much street flooding going on right now?
Yeah.
Give me Darren.
Around the ORU area, the intersection at 81st and Peoria was completely covered with about 4 inches of water there. But everybody seems to be doing a good job of maneuvering through there. But a lot of water in that area. Going to hop on the turnpike there and head east over there in this severe thunderstorm area for you, Travis.
All right. Hey, I appreciate it. Again, storms still going on strong to the east. Pascal is still watching the storms up into southern Kansas. We'll be talking to him in just a second here as we look. Storms are not warned where he is located. He's on the east side of Coffeyville right now. Hey, Pascal, let's find out what's going on the Kansas side of the border. What do you have for us? Is that still real heavy rain up there?
Yeah, Travis, I'm actually located at the Walmart parking lot on the east side of Coffeyville. 11th Street through Coffeyville. Most of the intersections are starting to flood pretty good.
Yeah,
The
Coffeyville.
police had 11th Street blocked. I couldn't find out why they opened it back up, but the rain still comes down really heavy, and I'm still receiving wind gusts from an average between 20 and 30 miles an hour, and it's been here for about 10 minutes, and it just keeps on blowing and it keeps on raining like there's no end to it. So I'll be here for a little bit, and then I'll be cruising around, see what else I can find for you.
All right, thanks, Pascal. Appreciate it. Again, that's on the Coffeyville side, or on the Kansas side with Coffeyville, and then you see South Coffeyville on the Oklahoma side. But again, this is torrential rain that is just going on right now, and then really the severe weather with a higher wind potential is farther to the south. That includes areas from around Nowata, and then east of Nowata to Alloway, and then around Wigganon, and then through Chelsea. And then they'll be heading on over to Big Cabin before too long. So these are the areas that we're going to be very much aware of. We'll be watching that very closely to see if we end up with very much hassle as far as getting some power outages as well, because we'll have some reports on that coming up from our staff in just a little bit. We also have significant amounts of rainfall that are showing up. This is a look at Midtown Tulsa right now. Who's that?
That's Gary Cruz shot.
On that? Okay, and that's a flooded out car. At this time, I don't think is Gary online with us right now?
No.
Okay.
No.
And this is one of the sites that's going to happen, folks. It looks like the fire department is there trying to make sure that car, it looks like it got
Gary Cruz shot
too deep into the water, and they're trying to get it backed out. And of course, in flooded area, you don't know where to go because you don't.
He usually just calls through in here like Katera does.
Best thing is we always say, turn around, don't drown, because that is
just we use Gary a lot in the morning. So
of all weather elements, heat is basically the number one, and then flooding comes in, and then lightning, and then tornadoes is basically last. That is strange,
very nice
but I mean
there,
that's what we have.
So many
very
videos.
Situation going on there. Now here's the leading edge of the winds. I want to show you from Wigganon, and then down to Bushy Head now to near Foyle, and extending east to Sequoia.
You love that,
at this time.
You're gonna get
this
a
goes
text.
down east of Claremore, and then you see the color change there, but that's just the direction of the wind going into the radar and out of the radar, and so that's why we have those multicolored areas. But this is all under a severe thunderstorm warning right now for these particular locations, and if you're in those areas, in fact, we can switch over now, and I'll go on over to our radar for a second, and you'll be able to see a little different view vantage point, because our radar is located south of the other radar that we use, and so these are combinations. We've had 57-mile-per-hour wind gusts in Bixby, and also we've had some 49-mile-per-hour winds down at Hectorville, which is southwest of Bixby. We have power lost at 91st and Olive and Broken Arrow, so there's some wind current issues in several of these locations. Heavy rain continues to be an issue across much of the
looks like Cruz is on the road
area,
somewhere
so I'm
else
sure there's
now.
some flooding. We'll get our guys kind of in that position so that they can kind of check that out, because longer that it rains in that area, the worse it gets. Further to the south, Dick Farrow has another update on the tornado
Stand
warning.
by the jib.
He's been watching that closely, and he's telling me he needs to give me an update.
Dissolve.
Dick, what do you have?
Travis, that storm again
Stand by
continues to
weather
show
5.
a circulation feature. Again,
And
it's going to
dissolve.
be very difficult to see it most likely because of its position within the overall area of rain. Let me bring that in for you real quick, like, so you can again see what we're looking at basically. So you can see again, we have to use the velocities, and the circulation feature is now northeast of Stigler. There's Stigler down here. The circulation feature basically about halfway between Stigler and Sallisaw. Now, you folks in Sallisaw, you're going to be east of it. The storm is going to pass west of you by all accounts that we can see right now. Tamahaw about 9:56. Vian around 10:08. Current time is 9:57. So you folks in Tamahaw should be taking your precautions now. Gore Landing at around 10 minutes after the top of the hour. Gore at around the same time. Oh boy, some of these town names. Notchetown, I'm not real sure. 10:17. Box at around 10:18. So it gives you at least a general idea as to what the general time frame may be as that cell moves northward at about 30 miles an hour or so. Again, as we look at the reflectivity value, it doesn't look particularly impressive. If we bring in the hail indicator, not very impressive either. But one thing I want to point out, and this is something we've been talking about consistently, and if you look at the rainfall rate with these cells, As you can see, it is typically about 2 inches per hour, and that certainly has been what we've been seeing in terms of some of the rainfall totals when these cells move over.
Around 10, we're
rain,
probably
that
out
kind of
around
time
that
frame,
key again.
and that's going to be enough to cause some really significant issues. So therefore,
the 10 o'clock show.
that is one thing that we're also keeping a very, very close eye on with respect to these.
Do we still have caption? Oh, there it is.
Should be. I was worried about that earlier.
It's like it goes a really long time without doing it, and then it starts again.
Locally
It's
damaging
like,
winds, perhaps,
it could just be that decoder right there.
Guys, give me a second. I'm going to get you a chip over the shoulder
as best I can,
or down the line, because Travis is going to toss
moving northward.
Copy that. Travis is going to talk to Megan.
Right now, but
Travis is going to toss the Megan. So, are you ready?
I appreciate that. So, again, crazy things going on, and we're talking about conditions that are not favorable. Again, for travel as we go through tonight, we have our severe thunderstorm warnings on the east side of Tulsa, so a lot of different things. Let's go over to the news desk just for a minute as
Step by the jib,
begin
start
our
your
10
move.
o'clock newscast.
Go ahead.
All right, thank you so much for that. We have got a lot of information here.
We'll see where she goes here.
He normally does sports. Tonight he's on news and weather for us.
We have
Harold Kuntz is out live right now.
What's Harold on?
Got him captured.
So Harold, you've been driving around the Tulsa Metro. Tell us
What'd
a
you
little
say,
bit about
Chad?
what you're seeing.
He's captured. I've got him. I hope, if he's there.
What kind of flooding issues have you come across?
Yeah, Megan, well, actually, we just passed.
What remote?
He's on 37.
Go.
I don't have him.
Just go to a shot. We're talking about a live shot. We don't have a picture.
As of right now. But what I can't tell you is that the part
Animate is, do you have any key for him?
We had Pine and Irvington here on the north side of town.
Can we have a live key?
That was the deepest flooding we had seen so far, but there are definitely some parts, especially on the side of the road when you go try to turn, you're going to pass some puddles. So it's pretty dangerous sledding out there. I mean, I would advise everybody pretty much to stay home if you don't have nothing else better to do. I would say pretty dangerous weather out there, but that's kind of the story right now.
Get ready to read your news on 610K.
Trying to go toward
if you got it.
Towns. We've heard some reports of
Megan's want to know what to do next.
Check that out. Hopefully we can get more information on that.
Flooding tips. Flooding tips will be next out of history. We can get them.
Harold Kuntz, thank you so much for being out there. We also have Katira Winfrey. We're going to go to her in a moment here, but we do have some flooding tips for everybody just to keep in mind. If you do come
after
across
this,
any of
we'll
these
throw that.
Floods, evacuate flood-prone areas. Avoid rapidly flowing water. I know it's difficult to see
what
all
line
this at night, but never cross a flooded stream on foot.
60-40 for Katira. Stand by 4.
Bridge. If your vehicle stalls in moving water, just get out.
Got Katira.
We got
Katira.
Katira.
Tips for you. Okay, we do have Katira Winfrey now on the phone with us.
I don't know where to go on
Katira.
Katira.
As well.
She's supposed to be on 31, so
so
pick a
Katira,
shot. I don't care there.
Give us a
Daniel.
update on
We see a
I'm so
car,
confused
a little
right now.
smaller car, looks like a Prius that is stalled, straight flooded out. We're trying to get from behind all this traffic so we can get out and give you a live picture. But there's some flashing lights out here trying to alert people of this high water, but just like we expected, this water has like tremendous.
Gary Cruz will be after this. We haven't got him captured on hold yet there. Chad, stand by.
Hop out and give you guys a quick picture of it, as soon as we can. But yeah, definitely some.
60-42 for Gary Cruz. 60-42 for Gary Cruz, and he has ram 41, so we will use 41.
Right,
Dissolve.
be careful out there and
Dissolve.
keep us posted.
Stand by 41
on
with and Gary Cruz.
We also apparently have Gary Cruz with
Dissolve.
us. Gary, where are you? Tell us a little bit about
Nice.
what's going on, what you're seeing.
We need his non-beard one. Hi, Gary. We have his winter one and we have his summer one.
Doing traffic
kidding, I don't know if we do.
vehicles that have stalled out in water.
He recently shaved.
Do we have captioning on this?
Should be.
Okay, let me call him.
What do you mean?
I do not see it.
I know it's been intermittent.
Okay, we're happy with that?
No, I mean, I don't know what's going on with why we're not seeing it.
Okay.
Bring
Hey,
her
Gary,
back up.
thank you so much. So are you going to stick
Dissolve.
there for a little bit or
Where are we going
possibly
next?
move locations? Again, we've got 3 crews out.
Yeah,
so
bring the banner
we'll
up.
keep you posted, but again, we're also hearing that
Yeah,
possibly
anyway.
91st and Olive in Broken Arrow. No power there. Some viewers are telling us that. We've also
Okay, go ahead and
heard
animate
of
out.
some flooding in front of Sam's Club on Sheridan.
There we go.
41st and 51st. Some
I
reports,
think
some
it's,
viewers are saying
yeah,
12
is it our
to
Dakota
18
maybe?
inches
I'm not
there.
sure where we're going here next, so
the
stand by.
Creek Turnpike and Memorial. We've also got possibly a car stuck in the water. 50
Do you have weather 14 routed?
70th.
No.
So we've got Katira, we've got Harold, we've got Gary, and we are going to stick with them and check in with them as
Weather
we can.
16.
So For now, I think we're going to send it back to the Weather Center.
Ready,
all right.
Jibs, take.
And we're going to talk
ready
about it because there's a lot of things to talk about. Again, we'll get you updates on everything.
Semi-weather 6.
Severe thunderstorm warnings on the east side of
dissolve
Tulsa.
weather
We have
6.
flood warnings in Tulsa,
All right,
obviously,
you drive
with
it,
everything
Daniel.
that you're seeing. So that's why we say turn around, don't drive. We have had 2.3 inches of rain coming in around the Okmulgee area, Creek Turnpike. We have a car stuck right there. That is on ramp, and that is closed right now. The Creek Turnpike is closed on ramp. I don't know if that's which way that is. Eastbound at Memorial is closed because of flooding and cars stalled right there. And so we're getting so it's multiple reports now of road flooding. And they did shut down Rocklahoma, try to get everybody to go home. Of course, now if they're going home, they're going to run into those flooding issues as well. Speaking of which, here's a look at what's happening right now. Severe thunderstorm warning still in effect for areas.
Hey, Tony's calling the phone back in here. I can't really answer it while I'm doing this, so if someone wants to get a hold of him, find out what he wants. Yeah.
And then through Bushy Head, heavy
Why is he
rains
calling
and
audio?
gusty winds to 60 miles per hour.
Excellent question. I have no idea.
On the radar side, you can see a big donut hole right there.
We were having
that's where we had the last
viewers
tornado that went
calling
up
here
from Broken
earlier.
Arrow.
Yeah, I can't.
And then, there's not a tornado
Okay,
right
he
now,
stopped
by the
calling.
way,
You
so
might be able to
mention
get a
that
hold of him
just
now.
wanna make sure you know that
Maybe.
we're not talking tornado warning here. Dick is going to share with us some information down the south where Gore
Stem of the
has
jib.
sirens going off for a tornado warning, but so far we're doing okay. But this is the east side again of Broken Arrow, and then that extends down to Coweta with locally heavy rain. That is a severe thunderstorm warning. The backside of the Tulsa area now not bad, but we just have rain, general rains that go back all the way into Osage County. We've had 2 to 3 inches of rain in some of these areas, some areas even more. The one storm we are watching, JD's been down on that storm, and Dick Farrell will probably talk to him in just a second. We're looking at the storm. It doesn't look quite as organized, but Dick, I'm looking at it from a general radar site. What do you have for me?
And dissolve.
From what I'm seeing on the velocity display,
Stem
the
over the
system
5.
is certainly
And
not as
dissolve.
organized as what it has been. But again, it's these storms have
I
all
love it.
surprised
You
us, quite
addressed the
frankly.
jib.
Here's what it looks like in the reflectivity. and again, it looks like this
Who did they
cell,
just
which
say
has
he
been the
was gonna be
tornadic one,
talking to?
and this one are becoming a cluster, if you will. And that process seems to be robbing the low-level circulation from the one that right now is near the Vian area. So we're at 10:05 now, so basically it's passing right over Vian. This would be, well, this is the Interstate 40 area, so it's west of Sallisaw, east of the Gore-Webbers Falls area, headed up towards again, Vian as we speak, 1016 at Box, 1019 at Black Gum, still moving northward at about 30, 35 miles an hour. But from what I'm seeing, and by the way, I think this warning expires at, okay, JD.
It's Megan.
Can you hear me?
Hey, Dick.
Okay, where are you?
JD?
I am just east of Kyoto. I'm fixing to head north to get back to this store.
And
So far, the only thing I've seen is a lot of heavy rain. I'm on Highway 9. There was probably close to a foot of rain on Highway 9 in Stigler. As I got east of Stigler, looking back towards the north.
He's near Stigler.
I could see some lowering. They were just
Sounds
they
good.
just looked like same town. Nothing to.
Yes.
have you heard any reports of
You're
any
welcome.
damage down that way at all? Wind damage or hail or anything at all out of the ordinary?
No, I haven't. And
Don't be
like I said,
afraid to jump
I
on
stayed down
heads.
Highway 9 where that storm crossed and the power lines
I won't
up
bite.
there, and I don't see not even any small tree branches anywhere to be found. So.
Okay, all right. Well, that's good to know. The circulation apparently has been pretty well organized aloft, but it has been having difficulty making it down to the surface. And what about your surface winds where you're at?
Well, like I said, right now I'm kind of east of the storm, and they're just kind of light right now. Nothing
Okay.
really to speak
Okay.
of.
So you're not really encountering any wind issues where you're located. The main issue for you
No,
is just
sir.
the torrential rainfall, correct?
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh,
Now I'm in the process of catching back up someday.
okay. Well, thank you
The
very
flooding
much. Eddie.
tips
Really
one?
appreciate that, and be careful.
Okay.
We can't tell folks too much for a night like this. You got to be careful.
Okay,
Thank
yeah.
you, JD.
Flooding full tips when
Especially,
you
yeah,
can.
in light
I
of
don't know
the,
what.
Stem of the jib?
storms, we know when
Dissolve?
tornadoes are rolling through,
Actually,
but flooding
never
is just
mind, Katie.
everywhere.
Ready to?
Unless
So
we
that's what we're
Take?
dealing with right now. Heavy rains. In
Semi
fact,
with a
speaking
6.
of which, we want to take a look at
And
some of the
dissolve?
rainfall totals. These are some of the rainfall totals in the last 6 hours.
We'll need
but
it
you
when
can,
we go back to
just
Megan.
accumulate
That's
some of this in the
basically
last
it.
couple of hours here around Tulsa. We're up to over 2 inches, over 3 inches in Bristow. You got the general idea. In saturated ground conditions, this is not good. And all the heavy rains are just getting ready to move in on you guys to the east. So you will be picking up similar rainfall totals before it's all said and done that are quite likely to be just about the same. Number one thing we say, turn around, don't drown, don't overdrive the conditions at night because you cannot tell what you're driving into. It's deceiving.
Daniel,
we'll be talking to Vaughn and Darren and Pascal here in just a minute. But 6 inches of water can pretty much either make you fall, or it can also cause some problems with your vehicles if you run into that and lose control very easily. 2 feet of rushing water can actually carry a vehicle and just pull it right over the side. And if that isn't scary, I don't know what is. I'm not a great swimmer, number one, and number two, you can't really swim in rushing water because it's extremely dangerous and deadly. So please, at night, be very careful. Floodwater contains debris and, of course, everything else that floats or crawls or swims. And I killed water moccasin today. Just wanted you guys to know that, just to let you know. Yeah,
Travis killed a water moccasin.
Anyway, keep kids and pets away from floodwater. And so that's obviously a given, but sometimes
how far
that
out
is something that we miss out on. We're going to talk right now, though, about the storms.
Rep 31 is going to be coming up online here in a few minutes.
Oh, tornado warning canceled. Okay. Oh, they reissued it?
Well,
Sequoia County?
Oh, it said they canceled it for Haskell and Muskogee.
Yep.
Oh,
sure enough.
Sequoia. Oh,
and there they go. So they're going to keep it going over by end. Dick, I'll have you in just a second. I'll let you get a storm track on that for the folks down there in western Sequoia County. That is a storm we're going to be watching a little bit more in just a minute. Again, western Sequoia County around Bayan looks like it's a circulation feature there. But back to the north, let's go on and take a look at what's going on again on the east side of Tulsa. And we're going to talk first of all to Vaughn. Vaughn and Darren are not too far apart. They're still in the midst of the heaviest of the rain. Vaughn first joined me. It looks like you're on 412. What do you have for us? What's going on?
Yeah, I just got off the 412 here on the 193rd in the Catoosa area. Rain has lightened up a little bit here, but the road, like we've been saying all night long, it's just it looks like a stream flowing down every road, Travis. I just got a report out of Muskogee that there was a half an inch rainfall in 11 minutes. That's how fast it's fallen. And that's from a dependable rain gauge.
Oh, so my.
All right, just keep me updated.
That's what we've been dealing with, this tropical type of rain coming down, and it just has nowhere to go, like you've been saying all night long. Right here where I'm coming up to, this is extremely high. I mean, I say that maybe a foot high here at the edge of the road. It's over the curb, but it's certainly nothing you can't cross if you just kind of slow down and let other people cross. And then take it. But this is 193rd, just east of the
we're on bond right now.
Casino.
Yeah.
And I'm headed south here on 193rd. Okay. We'll report back with anything else, Travis.
All right. Hey, thanks. Appreciate it. And again, the heaviest rains now going on just east of where Vaughn is located, and he'll be running back into it. Darren's back a little bit more to the south and west. Darren, it looks like you're on 21st Street. What do you have for us? What's going on there?
Yeah, Travis. I am on 21st.
Ooh, that looked weird.
Off here. Had reports of a stranded automobile, but this area right here, just to the east of 169, we got some cars coming through here right now. You'll be able to see the roadway is completely covered with water. You can see the cars plowing through it there. But
still waiting on Katera to get a live shot.
Where it interchanges with the Broken Arrow Expressway there, law enforcement has the southbound lane shut down there for about a half a mile due to water ponding on the inside lane. And I can also tell you, as I was proceeding north on 169, that I could look.
Where are you putting Katera? PCR 6?
Flood retention ponds there at the Corps of Engineers building.
Or I'm just asking. Yeah.
After flood of '84, those have water in them.
Do we have PCR 6 in the audio board?
I've seen water, but they.
Do I need to put her somewhere else?
So that's good news.
I'll go ahead and put her in one.
Tremendous amount of water.
That's at the Chad.
Falling in this area. Travis.
Okay.
So,
I'd say swap the 2 shots, yeah.
All right. Appreciate it. Be careful there. And we have Tony Russell right now. Tony, I don't have you on my GPS. Where are you located? What do you have for us?
Do we have Tony?
Travis,
we do.
Oh,
did Tony calling the Comrex?
Oh, good.
We've been reporting with those
you guys know what's going on more than I do.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Okay. All right, we got Katera on Rep 31. We've got Katera.
Water's going right up to at least halfway through the tires.
Cruise 6042. Cruise 6042.
Kind of give you an idea. Police have shut
I haven't captured.
This entire area.
We had
so
Cruise.
You are near Sheridan and 41st
what are we doing next?
Street.
Or whoever they want to do.
Tonight because these cars have the entire area blocked.
we're talking about a lot of rain in the area, and police have shut down the area. And as Darren was mentioning earlier, we were coming in from Coweta, and just to kind of give you an idea, those inside lanes were there at Garnett and the Broken Arrow Expressway, and we were starting to see some of that pawning of the roadways as well. So we're going to pull out here.
Okay, Katero on 31.
Cars here are in the middle, and then when you talk about
good to go.
Thank you.
This is a perfect example of what you're seeing, Travis.
All right, Tony Russell, appreciate that report around 41st and Sheridan area. We have as well, to go with this, power outages now. These are some of the power outages being reported in the Tulsa area. We have 797 customers out of power at this particular time. That has to do with potentially wind and some flooding potential. So either one of those is going to be a possibility. So that's latest as far as what's going on there. Also, let's go, and I'm going to spread out a little bit, and we're going to talk to, is Pascal online yet? Okay, and we're going to go on up and take a look on the north end. Remember, we still have a severe thunderstorm warning for you guys that are up around.
I think Megan's trying to get
really
their
into
attention.
southwestern Craig County. I know we've been focusing in the Tulsa area, but some heavy rains for you guys. Some gusty winds. We haven't had very many reports of really strong damaging winds, but we do have Pascal that has been up and around the Coffeyville area. That's where Pascal is right now. Hey, what do you have for us, Pascal?
Oh, crap. Okay, Travis, I'm on 169.
What's Pascal on 43?
Hold on. For the people that are aware of Coffeyville, this area is prone for some flooding. As on our
You got it. You got it. You're
live
fine,
feed
man.
But you can see people are still trying
We need
to
more
get through it. It's
PCRs.
not as deep in the middle.
We really do. This
but
is
it seems to be
ridiculous.
getting worse here. As much more rain we're getting, and it just won't stop. Travis, it just keeps on coming down from the sky.
Travis is on the phone.
And some people,
He's
like
wanting
this
to.
one,
He's wanting to. Yes.
They're going pretty quick
But
through this puddle, and it can be really dangerous here.
you want to pitch to Megan?
I appreciate that, Pascal.
Yes,
And we're going to go to Dick
ASAP.
with one update on the tornado warning, and then we'll go to the news.
Okay.
Dick, what do you have for us on that tornado
31?
warning?
This warning goes until 10:15, and we're almost there right now. I'm expecting it to be allowed to expire because I just don't see any evidence right now.
Okay,
of a
so
very
we doing
well-defined
Katira
situation at all.
first,
But
or are we doing
having
Gary?
said that,
And then
for
Gary?
the folks there in the western part of Sequoia County,
All right,
again, it looks like
Katira
that
will be
situation
first on
I
this
can
next
detect
live
would
hit.
be
Do we have video, or is
west
it just
maybe
straight line?
Northwest of Vian, moving northward at about 30-35 miles an hour. So Box at around 10:20, Black Gum around 10:23, Cookson around 10:36. But I'm
54th and
fully
Yale.
expecting
Will
that
she
that's,
have video, or is
that
it just
that
straight
will not
live?
be,
Straight
a
live for
tornado
Katira.
for much longer. It's supposed to expire at 10:15.
All right.
I anticipate that'll be the case.
I've
And
got-
in fact, they just not come out
I've
and
got
said
that.
not going to be extended. So
That'll be
it's
all
not
right.
allowed to expire.
Good. All right. Thanks. And news department
Take-
has some
take two.
some new news for us, I guess. So what do you have for
Go.
us?
Yes, we do. We have team coverage tonight on all of these storms. As we heard from
Keep driving,
Tony Russell earlier, he was near the Sam's Club on Sheridan, 41st and 51st there. A lot
just
of
straight
water,
live
a
here,
lot
Daniel.
of cars stalled. But we are going to head out to Katira Winfrey now, who is live near 54th and Yale. So, Katira, we heard from you a bit ago. What's changed? What are you seeing? A lot of cars stalled, a lot of water, obviously.
Take.
Well, nothing has changed necessarily, but that car we talked about that was stalled is still there. And even with that high water, and you can't even see the street.
Gary
as you
Cruz
can
will be
see,
next.
People are still taking their chances, trying to go through that deep water. And we've seen a couple of people listen to you guys and
Have weather
decide to
16
turn
routed.
around instead of trying to just drive through it. Now, some of the big trucks seems to have just been able to rush on through it, but even some of the lower sitting cars have been testing their luck to see if they'll make it. But if you look on the other side of the street, those cars are pretty much trying to do the smart thing and just waiting it out. And so that traffic is starting to build up in that direction. But
Okay,
again,
Daniel, we're
you
gonna
can
have to
see
wing it
further
here.
down the street, and we can't turn that way. Oh, well, now I notice that the police officer has actually left. There was an officer there.
All right,
I'm
go back out
guessing,
live.
keeping people
There you go.
from coming through this high water.
Yeah, don't worry about
But right
CC
now,
here.
as I mentioned before, you can't really tell where the street ends
Stand
because
by your
it's like
double
a
there.
pool clear across the center of the lane. Now, hopefully no one else's car stalls, but as we always say, turn
And-
around, don't drown, and don't let your car get stalled.
And take.
Okay, Katira,
Ready.
thank you so much for that.
Take
we
four.
appreciate it. Again, stay safe out there.
Not sure what she's doing
We are
here.
going to continue our team coverage now. Gary Cruz, we spoke
All
to
right,
him a
stand
little
by,
bit earlier.
41.
He's at 42nd
And it's all
and
animate.
Memorial now. So, Gary, wow,
And-
quite an image out there. A lot of water, and we've got some cars stalled.
Right, a lot of water. I see at least 3 cars stalled. Tulsa police have blocked off Memorial from 41st Street, 46th Street. There's been a few cars slipped through.
In our moldy
but they're
boxes.
having those cars
Okay.
turn around.
What are we
It
doing
looks like
next?
the water just about curb
What are we
deep
doing next?
now, but obviously it was
Full screen tips.
deeper just a few minutes
Weather
ago,
16
but
picks will be after this
officers
live
are
hit, so we'll come
instructing
back out
people
the
how to
4,
get
then we'll go
around
to
this
weather
closure
16. But you said I need to go in
for the time being.
between.
Doesn't appear to be
We
any
need to come out.
injuries, but
Okay,
we
gotcha.
have at least 3 cars stalled right here in the Memorial.
Okay, Gary.
That's
Thank
all.
you so much for keeping us posted on that.
Summer weather
Coming up
16.
next, we've had some viewers send in some photos. You can always send them in to our news
Take.
desk or tweet them to us. We've got this photo
We have a
here
key or
that
anything
I
for this?
believe
Okay.
is from
Back out to
85th
4.
and Delaware. About 8 to 10 inches of rain there.
Take.
So we appreciate the viewer
All
that
right,
sent that
switch
in.
your next
We also
one.
have some photos in from the Creek Turnpike
Got it.
and Memorial there.
That looks like
Apparently,
same
we heard
one.
that firefighters may
Take.
have had to help somebody there,
Where are we
possibly
going
in
next?
that red car.
Full screen
Rescue
tips?
A driver from that area. We're
Ready
getting a
for.
lot of reports
Actually,
similar
we'll just
to
do
that,
that, yeah.
around the area. So
So-
again, we're going to throw up some tips here for
There we
you.
go. Very
We
nice.
can't show these enough because especially at night with all the
That's
water, you
fine.
cannot
Where are we
see
doing
some of
next?
that
Are we
water
gonna
in front of
pitch?
you. So
All right,
evacuate
maybe
those
going back to
flood-prone
weather next.
areas. Never cross a flooded stream
Ready
on
for?
foot, and
Okay.
obviously never in your car. And if your vehicle does stall in that moving water, just abandon it and proceed immediately to higher ground. But at this time, it sounds like from what we're hearing, police are blocking off a lot of these roads that have
Take 4.
all of that water on it to try and make sure that the
We'll
viewers
be
or,
probably going
the
to
drivers
Jib,
just
maybe,
do not
to
drive
pitch
through
back
it.
to
They
Travis.
know ahead of time. So a lot happening quickly, but we have a lot of
Take
folks on
Jib.
this, and we will keep you posted. So I'm going to head back to
Ready
you guys
to.
now in the Weather Center, and what's new?
Check.
All right, well, no tornado warning.
Stand
so
by
we're
weather
pretty
6,
happy
then
about
you'll
that.
drive it and get
That's
on the
one good
multi-box
thing,
as
but
soon
we
as
are
you can.
talking about
Dissolve.
continuation of a lot of heavy rain, as we said, and also a severe thunderstorm warning still in effect for you guys off to the east, northeast,
Go
and
ahead, go to
Tulsa.
it.
Let's take a little closer
And
look
I'll
at
let you
what's
drive it,
going
Daniel.
on. We're talking about conditions that are still favorable for.
Can you get REM
a
31
few
in one of
severe
those?
storms. We have a tornado watch
31?
still in effect till 4 a.m.
Okay,
so
hold
we do
on.
have to be advised for that. Also, we have with that heavy rainfall
Or that
that's
too.
on the
Yeah,
north
that'll work
side
too.
from near Centralia now, moving into portions of into Craig County.
There you go.
And that is just moving out of the Nowata County area, just northeast of Nowata, and still some gusty winds associated with this. This is in the middle of this severe thunderstorm warning that will continue still until 10:30. Looks like we'll stretch it maybe a hair bit longer if this continues to advance. Now east of Chelsea, so on the east side of Chelsea, extending now west of Big Cabin. You're getting ready to get a ton of rain coming your way. You already have downpours of rain. And then that band continues to move through the Pryor area with a severe thunderstorm warning. We're back
They
right
just
over
need to
the
be
radar
careful,
site
that's
near
all.
Inola. Claremore, you're still under a severe thunderstorm warning. That's primarily heavy rain for you. And then also on the south side goes all the way down to near Cuita. Heavy rains continue just east of Wagner. Any areas in the red that you see, that is associated again with flooding rainfall. Very heavy rains at the rate of 2 inches per hour, which is considered a flooding rain. You get above that and it's unbelievable. But
Which
this
one's
is the
Harold
same
on?
cell that just went through the Muskogee
37.
Fort Gibson area that dumped just a quick half-inch of rain in a
thought so.
very short period of time. And then we still have very heavy rains now over Lake Tenkiller, down around the Braggs area, Paradise Hill to Notchtown, and then also around the Gore-Webbers Falls area. That is
Everyone,
the one
are we
that's
doing
moving to the
okay?
north
Q's wanting to know
right
if we
now.
need a hand.
That was part of where we did have the tornado warning. JD is still down in that area. Our storm team's still in line. I can't see the lines right now. They're okay. JD is still on. Hey, JD, can you hear me?
I can hear you, Chad.
All right. It looks like your
JD
storm
is 38.
warning area has kind of
Oh,
fizzled a
crap.
little bit, but are you
It's
getting
all
any
right.
flooding yet, or is that just
get it.
primarily heavy rain, and how much lightning going on with that? Well,
Did we lose
there,
JD?
He probably just went into
Sound
a
like
valley.
he's gone.
I just hit
Yeah,
him
we
at the
lost him.
wrong time. So we'll get back to JD in just a minute. But we're talking about bands of rain, heavy rain, and again, flash flooding possible any place along that leading edge. But it's more likely it'll be confined to the heaviest rainfall, which is, generally speaking, right now on a line with a new severe thunderstorm warning. We have now a new one that's going over into Craig County. So this is for the northern edge of this bow that's out in that area. And that will give us an opportunity if things work right. And I can hit this just right and hold my, there we go. Kept my fingers crossed. And what we're talking about is a band of very strong winds still located in this comma head area just northeast of Allouie. And that's where we find some conditions that are still very strong. And Dick, I'll have you zoom in on that a little bit more if you would on that track because there's so many lines on there. We've got so
picture?
many warnings going on right now. And then Dick, I'll have you do a storm track there. But that's for
Get off
Chambers,
of the there you go.
Centralia. And,
We lost 34,
also,
whatever
yeah,
was on
that'll be,
34.
Good, and there's is that rangeland?
Tony.
Is that what you're saying? I don't see any talents.
Some
of the jib? Dissolve?
Lots of rural folks obviously live out there, but
Yeah.
Semi with a 5?
You want to give us an update on that then?
Yeah,
And dissolve.
as we kind of zoomed in on that a little bit as it moves on up into Craig County, and again, this bow feature is probably going to be the area that may produce some damaging winds. Again, this would be marginal as far as severe weather is concerned, around 60 or so. and we've not had any
Next time we do a
confirmation
straight
of that, I
shot
should
on
point out, but that's certainly a
Megan, Daniel.
possibility. It is moving in a more northeasterly
Let's
direction, around
use
25
the
miles an
CC
hour.
with her in the
And,
big box, and
again,
a
it's
light
pretty
pick of
much out
any
over
kind in a
open
little
rural
box. Doesn't
areas,
matter
so
what
all
it
the
is,
farmers
just
and
some
ranchers
sort of
out
light
there
pick.
just need to be aware of the strong winds that are headed your way.
Jenkins
Folks in
asked me if we
Bonita
could do
may
that.
be impacted by it if it takes a little bit of a right turn, or if it should expand in coverage, possibly Welch and Hollow
And if you have to come
in
out
the
full,
northern
you
parts
got
of the
to.
county with time,
No
if
worries.
it lasts long enough. But again, this bow echo feature
And
is
everyone's
when
doing a
time
great
we
job.
see that in that very tight reflectivity gradient,
Direct from Q.
that is usually a troublesome sign. The potential would be there then
You okay,
for
man?
some damaging
Yeah.
winds.
Okay.
And again, given the environment that we have and what we've been seeing so far, it could be a spin up somewhere along that area as well. It could be, especially on this northern part of it, there could be a bit of a spin up with respect to the way that thing is going. Haven't seen any evidence of that to this point. They were looking at the velocity display. That's not to say it could. It's not. It's a possibility. I'm just going to let it go with that. Right now,
Harold
it just
11th
looks
tomorrow.
like it'd be mainly
They're
a damaging wind event going up through that part of Craig County, moving northeastward about 25 miles an hour. And of course, along that leading edge, also, as soon as that passes over, you're going to get those torrential
Where's that
rains
at?
that we've been talking
Oh,
about.
I see it now.
all
I
evening,
found
and
it. Got
for
it.
that matter, for several days.
I
So,
don't need it really. I just
All right.
kind of follow.
Stem of the
that's,
jib?
kind
Dissolve?
of worthy of noting is that
Two.
small area. In fact, I zoomed back in on that as well.
Intake.
I want you to look at this.
Stem
This
over
is
the
a
6,
small area, but
and
if you're
dissolve.
in that area, it's not so small. This is a very well-defined area of turbulent winds and a lot of wind shear, as we call it. And so if you are right along South Road 4280
Let's pick
and
some
East
other
Road 230 to
cameras, 'cause
East
I've got
Road 170,
tons of
you're
them.
kind of right in
Yeah,
that
just
zone
pick and
right now where the
choose.
strongest winds are
Pick the
located.
good
So you're
stuff.
probably
Yeah.
getting some
31.
scary-looking clouds going for you at this particular moment. That is just to the northwest of Veneta. That is moving northeast.
Go with
So
that.
that'll take it again, as Dick mentioned, over some open rangeland, which will take it into some areas
Oh,
again
no,
for semi ranchers
come
from South 4320 Road, and then that will also be East 130 Road all the way down to East 230 to 240 Road.
don't know.
If you are in that area, we do want you to be advised for that one small area. That is, that's why the National Weather Service decided to pick up on that, because that is still significant in terms of what we're looking at. Now, looking back out a little bit farther, we're going to be looking at rain and thunderstorm activity. I'm going to go to Vaughn and get some updates too on the roadways and what's happening with the roads, because we still have a tremendous amount of water in these areas. Severe thunderstorm warnings are still in effect
It's
on
fine.
the east sides of Tulsa, eastern portions of Rogers, western Mays County, heavy rain, and then also
Oh,
down to,
get off of 31,
Lola
get
area, and then
31
come
off.
back
There you
into
go.
the east sides of Tulsa. And we're going to go in, and you can see Vaughn looks like he's on the Creek Turnpike. We'll start with Vaughn. And Vaughn, what's happening? Have you had very
Okay.
much going on? Looks like you're on the backside of some of the heaviest rains.
Hit me with Vaughn.
I'm not actually on the creek, but I'm pretty close to it. Whoa.
Okay, we're at
that's how
Katira.
quick you can run up
I
on
could see us
really,
going back
really
to
high
Katira at
water,
some
but,
point here.
I just came down. Well, there's a good evidence right there. I don't know if you can see that, but this
Oh, we
road
can
is
see it.
totally flooded. I just came down 193rd between 21st and 31st, and it is basically a lake, Travis.
We're seeing
You can't, down that whole road, 193rd between 21st and 31st, you can't see the road. There's at least 6 inches on the road, and then when I turned and went east on 31st, that is the same way. It's got, 3 to 6 inches of water on it.
Ooh,
and
that looks
the
weird on
water
the radar.
is full
Like there's a
and,
ghosting there, but
and running fast. So
that yellow and
just,
green there.
dangerous situation here with all the rainfall.
And that is, I mean, that's just so much water. You're on the east side of town and looking at that. So, again, be advised, anybody that's asked to be out, if you have friends out who are enjoying their Memorial Day weekend at about 10:26 in the evening, not probably the best thing to be doing. Because it is a little bit on the dangerous side. Not a little bit. It is definitely on the dangerous side. And then also of note is back to the south and to the west. We continue to have, this is across the areas of Broken Arrow from East 41st down through Omaha Street. That extends down to Albany Street. So we still have a lot of rain to Kenosha. Lots
Oh, he's
and
got
lots
it
of
warning
water.
shut on
Darren's on the, looks like he is on the Broken Arrow Expressway. Darren, are you with me?
I am Travis. I'm eastbound on the Broken Arrow Expressway in the
Who's this?
Darren area. Just going to check out some reports of there was 18 inches of water covering 71st Street here in the Broken Arrow area. So I'm going to go to confirm that for the National Weather Service. But this kind of light rain right now. But I know as I move east, there's been reports of heavy rainfall over in that area. So I expect the flooding reports, my perspective, to be more readily available to you. Get back to you, Travis.
All right. Hey, I appreciate it, Darren, very much. Again,
It's
there's
magically
just a lot of
doing
stuff
it.
going on. Lots of heavy rain, and that's part of the problem
No kidding.
with what's happening. Here's, and thank you, Darren, appreciate that. This is a person, Johnny. He took this picture, 71st and Harvard. This is off of Twitter. And looking down at his
there's his feet. I get it.
And he says,
Okay.
okay, so be it. I don't know. Does he have socks on? Unless he's kind of in socks there or something. Anyway, he's just kind of proof that there's way too much water in the Tulsa area. The good news
You
is
talking
only a
about
couple of
the
warnings
handles
are
there
left.
at the bottom?
We do have
Yes.
a new warning, though, that now is extended off to the east. And this is a new warning that I will highlight. And we'll kind of get you an idea of what that looks like, because we are anticipating, again, that some of these storms are just strong enough. A severe thunderstorm warning, as we said, for Craig County. That will be in effect till 11 o'clock. And then we have a new severe thunderstorm warning for southern Craig County. This is going to replace the old one. And that is the one that you see right in here. And that, I didn't draw it perfectly. But that's for Mays County, southeastern Rogers County, north central Wagner County. Still considered 60 mile per hour winds, which is severe level for thunderstorms. So we're still going to stay just barely in the severe thunderstorm category. But power outages, shingles can blow off, as we mentioned before. Wind gusts 50, 60 miles per hour.
We got Harold up.
Bixby to Broken Arrow while this line of storms has been moving through.
Where's
so we're
he?
going to continue the warnings for these particular
Rep
locations.
37.
I got to figure out where I can stick
That
him.
will be Mays County. That'll be southeast.
Why don't you go full? You got a shot that's frozen. Not anymore.
Tonight.
That way you can.
What's the area? I mean, it just looks
All
like
right, I've got
right now
him on PCR 5.
Right, white that I have there.
PCR 5 for Harold.
North. Dick Farrow's been kind of watching some storms over by Tahlequah, some heavy rainfall. Dick, and that
Stem
heavy
of the
rain,
jib.
as we said, very tropical in nature in terms of that. So we'll get some new rainfall updates, but this is significant.
Dissolve?
Yes, it is. One of the things I've been watching too,
Weather 5?
and looking at the velocity, because
dissolve.
the way that
Kristen,
these
I
storms
didn't
have
hear
been
you. What's
behaving, they're not classic at all. And I just want to point out that there could be some locally damaging winds around the Hobart area.
We're waiting on
there's a weak
Harold.
circulation feature on the
We
radar.
got a
And
pick,
the
but
same
he's
story
not
there
in
south of
front.
Lake
Neither is
Tinto
Katira
there, south
yet.
of Tahlequah,
So
the southern
that
part
would,
of Cherokee
she's talking
County.
to
So
he's talking to
there's a
her.
couple of
Yeah, and I don't have audio from Harold yet either.
That tornadic storm that was down there further south, down towards Sequoia County, finally weakened, and these don't look overly impressive right now.
At the moment, we don't have
I just
audio
wanna
from
make sure
Harold,
that
but
you
he may
folks
not be
are aware of the
completely
fact that
set
we're,
up
we're
yet.
keeping an eye on.
We see a
all-
camera moving around, but that's
just
about it.
Everything's on the table right now as far as what the possibilities are. Again, I don't see that this is going to be become a tornado warning, but I just want
Did
you
we
to know
lose
that
Harold?
we're
We lost
keeping an
Harold's
eye on
pick.
some of these other storms besides that line that's been producing such flooding rainfall, just in case we do get some additional spin-ups that might take place, and which could happen in most any place in time. But anyway, those two just kind of caught my eye here just a few minutes ago, Travis.
Okay. Hey, I appreciate that.
Stem of
And,
the jib.
Also, I
Dissolve.
just found out the Osage Casino at Skytook had to cancel the Marshall Tucker band
Dissolve.
tonight. Good
No
memories,
Marshall Tucker for you guys.
He was a good guy.
Sorry, man.
And a good band. And they're still going, except not tonight. So they canceled that. We are talking about Rocklahoma. Same thing. They had to get people out of there. They had a weather, they call it a weather emergency. Of course, if you remember, as we've had a little history with weather there, they're very weather alert, so they're not going to be messing around. I don't know if you saw it on Twitter, on Facebook. There was pictures of enjoying Rocklahoma, and they just had a picture of somebody neck deep in water and holding their hands up like trying to just stay above water. So, again, it's a rough time of year, even in a drought year, to have
We still don't have Harold's
promise of
pick
not
back.
having rain on
What's
around
up?
Memorial Day, and that's kind of the case of what's going on right now, as we're seeing significant amounts of rainfall and flooding
35,
conditions
38,
going
41,
on. This was from
43.
earlier,
43 is kind of iffy.
And around the Marl Road, is that
You don't have
right
43 on there.
in
Okay,
Sand
good.
Springs? But in front of Walmart? Near Walmart. Okay.
Walmart.
You can see that car submerged about a third of the way
Yeah, bring that one
down
forward,
into
yeah.
the water. And that's a rear view mirror you're seeing in the foreground, and then that's a car in the background that's in water. So you have the general idea of what that looks like. Also, we have rainfall totals and rain amounts around the area. This is a look from some of our viewer photos. This is from Eagles Landing in Owasso.
Where's he at?
I mean, is that not amazing? Just a total lake out there at this time. So we're looking at
He was
the
on the
conditions
wrong,
that are showing
yeah.
up as very heavy amounts of rainfall that have fallen across that area. And I mean, that when you have your home, and I can tell that those are relatively new looking homes, from the shapes of them. A little scary when you start having water that's trying to go into your home and you think you're in a pretty good place and you have never seen flooding like this before, because we were on pace for record flooding at this time. So just be advised for that. Also, rainfall totals pushing down 2.1 inches around the Tulsa area, 1.9 coming in around Stillwater. 2.5 almost 3 inches in Oklahoma City. We did have some reports out around Clinton of up to near 6 inches of rain.
Do you remember if we had to do that,
as this line continued to move to the east, we
I
would
don't
have
think
problems,
we did.
and that is part of it. I'm going to do an update, and then I'll have Dick check out that storm that's been up around Centralia in Craig County. But here's again a broad view of some of the heavy rain and thunderstorm activity that's going on across the southeast sides of this big complex, and on the east side of Tulsa. This is around Inola still, and then from Shoto and extending to around the Locust Grove area to Pryor, and then on up to Strang, now to Pensacola.
Oh, yeah.
For severe thunderstorm, and we'll continue to have that same thing going on for a while, so we'll continue to be that. Darren Stevens is back in the Tulsa area, and Darren, what do you have for us? What's happening in Tulsa?
Trev, I'm going to assume you're looking at the video feed, but I'm on the Elm here in Broken Arrow, just south of 71st Street, and what they got here is a big mess.
Did you check on the
right-hand side of the picture there, that is a fire truck. They are stranded there. And if you look real close, you can see the silhouette of someone walking through this water. It's up.
Look at that. Oh, that guy walking in the water.
I've counted 6 cars. There's one of me pan over here just a little bit. You see the headlights there. The water is up to the bottom of his headlights. I suspect that the fire truck went in to do a water rescue.
And weather 16, okay. Harold Katira, weather 16. Okay.
Came up on them, but there are 6 cars out in this area.
Do we have it on 6 at 10:30, or is it just 10?
You know, but the emergency vehicles are on the scene. They've got the street closed down and are attempting to get these vehicles out of this area, Travis.
Oh, that's a mess, and and that's terrible when you see a fire truck being in that situation.
Okay.
And Vaughn, Darren, I'm gonna come back to you in a minute. Vaughn is
do
also
at least a program. Oh wait, we're not programmed left now.
A pond too.
We're in the newscast.
Everything's a pond out here, Travis.
We'll need to do it at 11.
It really is. This is 31st
we need to do it at 11 o'clock.
31st Street all the way from 193rd is a pond.
Okay, we have Harold. Harold's on site.
I imagine when daylight comes, it's going to look like one big lake over here. I'm trying to make it over to
Yeah, Megan will pitch. Megan will do the pitch to Harold. So whether we'll need to pitch back to Megan at some point.
And I'm pretty sure that there's probably a lot of houses got water over there, but it just got to take it slow.
Harold first, then Katira.
The line in the middle.
Gary Cruz, I don't know, Rep 41.
Because you never can tell what is.
When
he going to somewhere that was really important? What's up?
Good
All right,
grief.
thank you.
Lots of stuff going on there. And then also the amounts of rain, rainfall totals, and we're going to go to Megan in just a second, but 2.7 inches in Wasso,
we'll be coming out to 2.
Tulsa, now almost 3 inches in Jinx, 4.
Go ahead and jump off that. Go ahead and go weather 6 full.
A little over 5 inches coming
Set
in
your
from
CC box with 4 and Megan,
and
just so we can
okay. Thank
have
you,
something
Hannah.
on there.
I appreciate that. I should say Hannah. And over 5 inches near New York. So this is unbelievable amounts of rain. Dick, can you give me one quick update on the severe thunderstorm warning there in Craig County?
Yeah, I've got it. Again, we continue to track that.
Don't worry about one. Don't worry about one. Just go to weather 5.
Northeast, and now it's the Hollow at around 10:47, Cockleburg Flat around 10:50, Banzette around 10:56, Rogers around 10:57. Moving northeast at about 25 miles an hour. Again, this would be fairly marginal with respect to the severe threat, but there could be some locally damaging winds. Anytime we see a bow echo and a very tight reflectivity gradient like that, probably would have at least the potential for some 50, 60 mile an hour winds associated with that. Certainly enough to cause some localized damage for those areas as it moves.
I don't know who's first. Stand by, guys.
Have not seen any evidence of any kind of a spin up along that leading edge either, or for that matter, on up into what we would call the comma head up in that area. At least not up to this point in time. Been watching for that possibility, but it hasn't happened yet. So that's just something we're keeping a close eye on as well. So
what's
the
he
main
on?
feature again with that is the potential.
Gary Cruz 6042. Gary Cruz 6042.
And that will be followed by the flooding rainfall that
got him.
Else.
Who are we doing first?
All right. So again, very
Harold.
dangerous situation for a lot of folks. So we want you to be advised of that. Megan has a lot of information. I'll have some more viewer photos. Viewer photos coming up. I'll get that out in just a minute.
Yes, we are getting a lot in from the viewers, so please keep sending them our way. In the meantime, we did just see on
Harold or
Katira
first?
6200 East
Harold
11
first. Harold first.
And North Hartford barricades are on the way to that area.
All
Stay
right.
clear of there. And we do have Harold Kuntz now
Go
at
take
11th
it.
and Memorial.
All right, ready
Live.
at 37 with.
Harold, tell us what is going on out there. Obviously, as you can see, a lot of rain. We can hardly even see.
Yeah, there's not much we can do about it. And Mike, you take.
Yeah, well, I'll tell you right now, we're here near 11th and Memorial.
Great. He sounds very excited.
The street behind me is literally a pool. It's flooded completely. I wouldn't advise driving by it. We've got cars passing
Yeah, he's talking very loudly into his
As they
microphone,
drive
like
by,
very
you just
loudly.
see tons
Yeah,
of
he's
just
screaming
water
into his
just flowing
mic.
up. We've
We
got a
might have
car
him back
stuck
off
in the
on the
middle of
next
road,
hit
actually.
if we
In
do
fact,
another
just
hit
got a
with
guy
him.
that just went on the other side of the road.
Oh, I
don't
know
what
it.
he's doing. That's not very advisable at all. We've got a puddle over here. Right at the intersection here, it's literally a pool right here. I mean, if I
Where
can
is
show
Gary
you for
Cruz
a bit,
located?
I'll
Do we know?
just show you right here. It's just, as you see, it's very deep. Comes up in the middle here.
A new warning? Okay, we may be going back to weather here
A foot up
because there's a new
so
warning.
It's very dangerous roads out here. I wouldn't
Ready
I
for?
wouldn't advise coming out here at all. I mean, people that have been driving by, they've been just flowing by, and they
Is that
haven't been
tornado
very-
warning?
Being very advisable at all. So I would take caution on the streets. As for the roads, you have a car.
Tornado
stuck,
warning,
there's
yeah.
Another car that was stuck past near the
All
super
right.
earlier. So just really dangerous. And once again, you got people driving.
All right, bring his
around.
mic. Bring Megan's mic
So,
under. Bring
Megan,
Mike.
We'll take it back to you, but be very
All right,
advised here.
come
and
on,
just turn
Harold.
around, don't drown,
All right,
please.
take 4Q.
Absolutely.
Ready
All right,
2.
Harold, and we are going to send it back to Travis.
There's go to 2. Take 2.
We do, and we have a
Summer
tornado
weather
warning
6.
now reissued.
Dissolve.
We have had that tornado watch in effect
All
in
right.
the area.
All you, man.
And that's till 4 a.m. Here's what's happening right this second. Then Dick will have a storm track. This is on the east side of Tulsa. That is this area right in here. We have severe thunderstorm warnings in this area, and the tornado warning will be going until 11 p.m. Dick will have that again. Severe thunderstorm warning up in Nowata County, but this is the area that's most concerning, as that's kind of the leading edge of what's happening. So again, you're looking at Lost City to around the Pegs area. That's just moved up out of the Holbert area. Dick, what do you have?
Excuse me.
Some of the jib.
You're all choked up, or this one?
That's what I have. Well, you
And
mentioned
dissolve.
pegs. You mentioned at the end pegs at
Some weather
1042, 1058 for roads.
That's weather 5.
That's weather
You
5.
recall I mentioned this
Don't.
particular circulation.
Crap.
I've been watching
Weather
it
6.
for some time now. And I mentioned it several minutes ago that there was a circulation feature there. But again, when I bring in the
I've got some kind of
reflectivity
camera
level,
on
it
weather
certainly
5.
does not look like an impressive storm.
Weather 5.
Looks like traffic 4.
Oh, there you go. There you go.
Features that are developing within these cells. Having said that, I want to point out that there's another one that is further to the south that is located down there south
There
of
you go.
Tahlequah.
There we go.
We're also seeing a brief,
goodness.
broad
I got
circulation
Travis here telling
associated
him it's
with that
frozen.
cell. Not warned on, but it looks about as good as this one does, quite frankly, with respect to what we're seeing on the radar. So just wanted to point out that these cells, as they move northeastward out ahead of that main line, are still capable of causing some brief spin-ups. And therefore, we have had a tornado warning now issued there for that northeastern corner, or northwestern corner, I should say, of Cherokee County, and on up to possibly into, well, maybe may cross Highway 412 if it stays together long enough. But that's just something I have to keep an eye on, Travis.
Okay, yeah, I'm
Start to
kind of looking
move
at that from our radar
and
and
dissolve.
looking at it's there, but
Ready
it's
to?
not impressive. But it doesn't take much today.
That seems to be the case all day today. And like I said, that's why I was pointing out that other one that's further south. Because that one
Some
also
weather
is showing
5,
a bit
dissolve.
of some bus circulation.
I thought they were
south of
tossing.
Tahlequah there. It looks as impressive
thought
as
they
this
were,
one
and they
does.
faked
We'll
me
just have
out.
to keep an eye on them and see what happens.
Okay, Dick, I appreciate that. So again, a new tornado
22.
warning just issued, and that'll be for northwestern
Daniel?
portions of
Take.
Cherokee County.
I gotta
and
go
that'll be
strike
going
down
until
balcony.
11 o'clock. We're at 10:41 right now. And Megan, you probably have
Oh,
a little bit
never
more
mind.
for us. What do you have for us?
We do, absolutely. We've got 2 more reporters who are live, but we've got Katira Winfrey.
Katira first.
54th and Yale.
Katira first.
She is out there now.
Go.
So we heard from Harold earlier. Katira, give us an update.
Take Mike in. I mean,
Well, the rain has slowed down a little bit, and with
Oh,
it
my
slowing
goodness.
down, it's given the road a little bit
That
of
was
chance
all
to
sorts
kind
of
of
special.
drain off some of that water.
Sorry about that.
If you
I was gonna
remember
go
about
strike
20
down
minutes
balcony,
ago,
but I'll wait.
There was a white car behind me that was stalled in water up to
Although I
at least
just
the
need
very
to
bottom
move the
of it.
lights
Now
in.
you can actually see
Guys
the
are about to
street.
get a warning
And
on
that's
your cell
the case on
phones.
both sides. The water
I just got one.
The water is receding
'Kay.
on both sides, but there's a couple of other
There it
cars
goes.
that are stalled
We got
northbound
him.
on Yale that we can't see because they're out of the picture. And because they're stalled, people are still
What carrier
flying
do you
through
guys
this area,
have?
And we've seen some near accidents of people
Why
running
is mine
into
quicker?
those stalled cars.
I don't
haven't
know.
gotten mine yet. I'm AT&T.
Okay, all right.
high and you
Kristen
see
was
cars.
asking the
Just pay
question.
attention
I
to
didn't
make
hear
sure
what
the
she
cars in
said.
front of you
What's up?
Aren't stalled because some people jumped out to push the car out of the way.
Who's
and
next?
I saw another
Got him.
car try to turn and it almost
Harold
hit them.
Kuntz
So
is next.
luckily the
Harold
water
Kuntz
here
is next.
receding, but
All right, because
there are still stalled
I don't
cars
know.
over here in this area.
Ready, double. Take.
All right, Katira, thank you very much.
Sorry,
it just
ready
goes
for
to
it.
show
Take
anybody
one.
out there, if you don't have
Stand
to
by,
be
Harold.
out on the roads, don't go out there. And we've got crews around the area. We did check in with Harold before we went to that tornado warning, so we're going to go back out to you, Harold. Again, continue where you were. You said people just continue to drive through this water. It's very dangerous.
Take.
Well, yeah,
Read.
Megan, I don't know why people are continuing to do it, as you said earlier. I mean, we got huge splashes coming by. We got a car
Huge
stuck in the
splashes,
road here.
Reed.
We're at 11th and Maplewood right now, just not too far away from 11th and Memorial. And this road behind me here,
all right, so what's next?
Is literally a
Gary
pool
Cruz,
right
6042.
Deep
Rep
pool
41.
behind me as we speak. And I mean, I stuck my foot in earlier. It went up pretty much in between my ankle.
Where's she at?
So I wouldn't advise anybody to come out here. I don't know why people are really out here. We've got
Has Harold been drinking?
I think so.
How the water's coming up, but that one's actually being safe for once. It's actually going fairly slow through this.
Why don't he put his? Why don't he put his, hoodie? Yeah.
Still slip and slide and come off the road. Doesn't matter if you got a Corolla or a 4x4. So, regardless, please stay safe out here. You see, people are trying to be a little more advisable here, driving through it slower than what you should be, but you can see the water's still at a high level out here.
No one turns around and drains.
Maplewood near 11th and Memorial, still almost a foot high up here at Maplewood. So that's the story here. We've got people driving back. The rain is not slowing down.
6042, is that what you said for Gary?
Plenty of flooding. Please
all right.
stay safe. Back to you.
And take.
All right. Have you seen any barricades
going
back
there,
or any
going back to
police
Harold.
in the area since you've been there?
Take.
When we've been driving around, we saw one police. Actually, we can see this car here. It's trying to go through the puddle. Let's step out here, and you can see there.
Let's pull them over and interview them.
Actually, they're saying hi. Back to you.
Did they?
But, they got through
did they say hi or flipped us off?
It's still not advisable. I actually don't know how they got through that, but that's a pretty good job from their point. But no.
Oh my gosh, Harold.
One ambulance out here earlier.
This is great.
But that's all I've seen so far. No barricades at the moment, but I feel like there should be one here. But as of
hi,
right
John.
now, only
Welcome
one
back.
ambulance so far.
Okay.
Take.
All right, Harold, they're obviously very busy
Where
tonight. We did say
Gary
earlier,
Cruz.
6200 East 11th
And
and North Hartford
semi-41.
apparently on the way there. So we are
Take.
going to head out to Gary Cruz,
There you go, ready 41
who
full.
is also live for us tonight. So, Gary, where are you and what are we seeing?
Right now,
read.
on I-44.
We're missing a live key.
As soon as we're done with Gary, Travis wants it back for the update.
All right. We'll be back out to double and then pitch to Travis. Travis is taking it after this.
Cable barriers in the center media as a result of emergency vehicles on both inside lanes checking out that accident. Traffic is sort of slowed right there on I-44, both east and westbound at 145th, but that will be cleared up shortly. Again, like everyone
Stand by double.
Be out tonight. Go.
Stand by double.
You have to be out right slow. If you have to go through water, right slower, because there's a lot of water out here and a lot of change to stall out.
All right. All right, Gary Cruz, thank you so much for staying on top of that.
Stand by
I'm
Jib.
going to send it
Take
back over
Jib.
to Travis. We have some new
Stand by
information.
two. Take two.
We don't get this very often.
You
It's
drive
a
it.
flash flood emergency for parts of Tulsa County. And what that means is, and surrounding areas, what that means is don't drive, period. We're saying don't drive, but don't drive, literally. And I do believe they'll probably have warning sirens going off for that, if I'm not mistaken.
Are we doing tips
But if you hear a
anytime
warning
soon?
Siren, that'd be for flooding. And so, again, the flood
At the moment,
emergency
I
now
have
has
no
been
idea.
called for Tulsa, specific areas of Tulsa and surrounding areas. That will most likely include for you guys in Broken Arrow. Significant amounts of rainfall. There's going to be houses, unfortunately. They'll probably have water in them over the course of the next hour. We're still talking about tornado warnings. We're still talking about Cherokee County. Let's go down and take a look at what's going on. These are two areas which we're really concerned with, and Dick Farrell's going to look at this a little closer. We have the tornado warning now for around the Pigs area. That is a weaker circulation than really the one that's just on the south side. This is down by Park Hill. This circulation is a lot more pronounced at this time near Keys. So if you're around Keys to Park Hill, to Welling, then to Tahlequah, you guys need to be aware of this cell. It would be small, but it doesn't really matter. This is a circulation feature right here. We're going to get an update and see what that looks like when it moves, but we expect that to be moving right in an area that should take it up around Park Hill to the areas right on the east side of Tahlequah, and then to
So what's the
Briggs
plan
and
when we come back to
Eldon.
Megan
So if
or
you are
if
in
we-
these areas, we do need you to be advised that that's a very strong storm, capable of very strong winds in excess of 60 miles per hour. And even though it is not a warned area, I think that folks are going to have to be watching that very closely. We just received a new update on that. Again, circulation is right there at Highway 82 in Keys and north of Petite and south of Park Hill, moving to the north. And so that's going to take it just on the central portions, central and east sides of Tahlequah, to around the Briggs area and near Welling in Park Hill. So those are the locations to watch out for that particular cell. Dick Farrow is also watching.
So what's the plan, Stan?
And also the tornado warning to the north.
When we go back to Megan, or if we go back to
Megan. We got the other area. It looks like a tornado.
And
all right, no.
Okay,
good.
The one that's up around the Briggs area now, again, that circulation has become much more.
Daniel, I'm going to attempt to strike down the balcony.
Okay,
right back.
But having said that, the warning is still in effect for at least a few more minutes. So Rose at 10:57, Kenwood at 11:08, and Hoot Owl at 11:10. Now, the circulation that appears to be just south of Tahlequah, that appears to have gotten a little stronger. At least
you wish you lived there.
It's a little bit better organized than it has been. Park Hill around 10:47.
I want to live in Excelsior.
10:47. Solid G.
How about IXL?
Village, 10:47. Indian Meadows, 10:48.
By the way, I'm back, everyone. Hello.
Some of the other locations.
Hello, John.
You want to live in Hog Shooter, Chad?
Go through some of the other spots that are located there, just kind of give you an idea.
Only if I get free bacon.
Again, the east side of Tahlequah itself looks like but
John, did you bring me Whataburger?
I did not. Sorry.
Locally damaging winds.
That's okay.
And although we do not have a tornado, let's see, look at your Cherokee Landing. Okay, they did just issue a tornado warning for that. I think. Did they not?
Nope. Yep. Nope.
Yeah, they did. Tornado warning for Adair and Cherokee County. So that's it. So they did just issue a tornado warning for
You almost have to on that one because, that's a very dangerous situation.
Yeah. So anyway, you folks there in Tahlequah, you've got a few minutes notice at least. You need to be taking your precautions.
And that'll be until 11:15.
No, hold on.
That is a severe thunderstorm capable of producing a tornado. At this hour, and that is the circulation feature that we have right now over Park Hill and just north of Keys to near Welling. So if you are in these areas, you now have a
what
tornado
am I needing
warning.
to route?
So the sirens are going to be going off in your area
16?
from Park Hill, Tahlequah to Briggs to Eldon. If you hear those sirens, be advised the circulation feature is right at Park Hill right now. And that is moving to the northeast. And we're going to monitor this, and we're going to follow this, and we're going to just go close street by street level here as we go through this particular storm. Again, for the areas anywhere from around Highway 82, it's right in the middle of that, and it's right in Park Hill right now. And then that is going to be moving into the south side of Tahlequah, so it's right near the Jalagi Indian Village. And it's not officially a tornado, but the rotation is there for very strong damaging winds, and it could spin up a small tornado at any given time. So if you live right
it's
on
unofficially
Tahlequah,
official.
The east side of Tahlequah from South Muskogee Avenue to the east, and that'd take you through Powell Road. They'll take you over to Welling. They'll take you then extend on up to the northeast around Eldon area. You will have to be advised that there is a capability of at least a spin up of a possible tornado in that area. That tornado warning again until 11:15. Thunderstorm is now located and the potential tornado is located right at Park Hill to the southeast side of Park Hill, just east.
Did you say South Park?
Right around 82 Junction.
South Park.
And that is going to be moving right on up on the east side of Tahlequah. So if you are in Tahlequah right now, it's advisable to get away from outside windows and walls. And also that includes getting to a lower floor if you can, just to be on the safe side. This is not a significant in terms of...
never mind.
I don't want to get too carried away here by how I'm stating this, but this is not a really large... This would not be a large tornado, but it doesn't really matter. If it is even a small tornado or spin-up in this area, you would have to be very careful. The other tornado warning, which had been in effect
City of Tulsa stuff,
for the areas that were to the northwest, I'm about out on that for a minute. And then, Dick, I'm going to have you get a new storm track on this one if you would.
Yeah, Gary's on
the
41.
tornado warning that had been in effect for Peg's area, that has been dropped. We do have a minor circulation southeast
JD
of
on
Locust
38,
Grove,
okay.
which we are not really concerned with at this time, comparatively speaking. This is the only one that really has any capability of seeing a spin-up or have something happen. And by spin-up, we mean
43
just a
still
small,
on the road.
quick tornado. A smaller tornado, that's good, but again, any tornado is bad. Any additional severe thunderstorm warnings are still in effect for several different areas. We do have our at least a look. Hey, could you guys double box on 3D1 on this particular one? We're gonna
3D1
is set up with our
Weather One. Hold on.
NSU camera.
Oh, God, not that again.
That will
go ahead and just dissolve to it. Don't worry about it.
Give us an opportunity to kind of watch what's happening there. Stacia, do you know if that's looking due south?
We talked about that.
It is southeast. Okay. Okay.
It's on weather 15 also. It's on weather 15.
Weather 15?
Yes, weather 15.
Campus, which would be, I'm going to zoom back in for a minute, and then Dick, I'm going
No,
to
we got it. We got it.
There you go.
Features
not super strong, but it doesn't really matter. It's now just on the east side of Park Hill near Merrill Road, and then
no, they've.
I can't get rid of the live bug very quickly.
No. Severe thunderstorm warning still in effect up for you guys up to the north in Mays.
No,
in south central Craig County till 11:15.
There's an agreement with Osage that they may not always get their
potential
thing,
for a possible small
tornado
just in this particular zone.
Yeah.
And again, near the Jolagee Village, Indian Village, and also just now on the north and east sides. And just on the east sides from Park Hill to the east, this will be tracking to the north.
That's just another PCR you gotta give up.
Along a fairly good clip as well. It's moving about 40, 50 miles an hour according to the last report that we had. So it's making pretty good progress. I understand the I think the sirens are sounding in Tahlequah right now, but
should be.
There you're seeing the storm relative velocities. When I bring in the reflectivity, what's kind of interesting is this storm does show a little better characteristics, and that we do have a little bit of a circulation feature that would be evident right there. So it's kind of in that vicinity right there. So that this storm really looks like it would have a better potential of actually producing something as compared to some of that, at least from a radar perspective. As compared to what we've been seeing with some of the other storms we've been dealing with during the course of the overnight, the evening hours. Let the track kind of proceed on, work its way on northward there, so you can kind of see the areas that are being impacted. Again, it's moving in on Tahlequah as we speak. As you
okay, let's see if I can screw this up. I'm going to switch for a few minutes so that Daniel can get back. Stand by, Jeb.
I know it looks that from a radar display, from the reflectivity display, it has a better look to it than any of the other storms we've looked at for quite some time during the course of this evening.
Am I on weather 5? I guess so.
Velocity signature, like
You're
you
on.
pointed out, it looks like it has tightened up just a little bit. So that's going to be a bit of an issue for those folks up there. Notice as it goes on to the north at about 40 miles an hour, Lowry scraper around 11:12 or so. So it gives you folks up that way quite a lot of advance notice, assuming it maintains itself for that length of time. And then further north, the other locations that'll be picking up here in just a moment be those two spots right there. And again, so that gives you an idea as to what you can be expecting as that storm moves on northward. Travis.
All right, I'll give you another street update.
Stand by 2.
And this will
and
give you
two. Stand by weather 6.
Why we're concerned about you guys down right there around Park Hill. And it continues to show a circulation feature now moving
I'm going to CC boxes on CC.
Village and also Welling. And so that's going to, I'll move it up toward near Tahlequah. Tahlequah is in the far upper left-hand corner of this screen, but you'll get a little bit better view because I'm in so close on the roadways. Here's the main circulation now on the northeast side, and that takes it from 785 Road near Welling and South 540 Road. We want you guys in a safe place right now. And move to the interior of your building. Home, get away from outside windows and walls. This does have the capability, again, of producing a small tornado, and that will just move Tahlequah right here. So we're expecting that to move just on the east side of Tahlequah. And so that will include the east side of Tahlequah from South Muskogee Avenue, and then back on over from Welling, and then that'll take it on up to the north to near Eldon.
Shoot, I was on the wrong one.
Right along the highway, in fact, I'm going to move north just a little bit here so we can see that a little bit better. But that will put it pretty much very close to just within a half mile of the South Muskogee Road and the cutoff road that takes it on over to near Eldon. So if you are in that vicinity on the east side, we need you to move to a place of safety. Sirens going off for you right now. Circulation feature continues now near Welling. So this is an area that you'll be watching. Tahlequah is in the path, mainly on the east side of town. This is going to be strong, damaging winds.
CC.
And if you look at, we're looking again at the camera, we don't have a whole lot of lightning to help us out as far as what's coming in on the southeast side of town there. But that is the location that we're keeping an eye on, and multiple sirens will be going off in this area. So the tornado warning continues in effect now. This will be also up into Adair County. We're just showing right now Tahlequah, so we do play-by-play, but capable of producing a tornado just on the east side of Tahlequah, and that continues to move to the north east. I mean, it's almost a due north movement on there. Dick, if you have another storm track, I'll have you do another update on that.
Oh, hold on. He's
okay,
not done. My bad.
Let me for you folks, one last thing. Now it's just between Welling and the Powell Road near South.
Bring that full because it's hard to read in the box.
Extending now onto the east side, southeast side now of Tahlequah and east side of Tahlequah.
Stand by jet, then we'll go to one.
Taking cover at this minute.
I'm looking at it with our
by
radar
one.
display, and again, it shows that
take
circulation
one.
feature
Stand by weather
perhaps a little
5.
bit better there, just on that northeast side of Tahlequah, again moving northward at about 40, 45 miles an hour, so it's moving along at a pretty good clip, and therefore you folks need to be taking your warnings as Travis mentioned as we speak. Moody's at around 11:05.
Moody's
around
in that jewelry store.
Liberty around 11:09. It's not quite 11 o'clock, so you guys have a little bit of advance notice there. Lowry at 11:12. Scraper at 11:12.
That song always gets me.
at 11:12. Oaks at 11:20, and Leach at 11:23. Just to give you an idea.
Leach.
And then if it were to maintain itself long enough, then obviously it could be crossing the Highway 412 area on up into Delaware County.
Red
and so we'll just have to see if that maintains
that
itself for
bleeding
that
red?
time or not, Travis.
Semi-jib. Dissolve jib. You're up, jib.
As I look at that, again,
Semi-2.
circulation feature is just, it's holding together, and that's
take
about,
two. Semi
that's
weather
about it.
6.
So the good news is we don't have any confirmed tornado at all. A severe thunderstorm warning has expired now for Craig County.
Dissolve weather 6.
So Craig County, no more severe thunderstorm warning. We're still looking on the east side of Tahlequah.
Ready to
At
multi
this time,
boxes
here's
up.
Tahlequah, right in this zone. And then the main circulation feature is running kind of in a broader area from Welling now, and that extends back on up onto the east side.
Dissolve on the multis.
Of Tahlequah on the Cedar Avenue, and then to near Bliss Avenue. And so that's the western extent of this. The highest probability is near Welling at this particular moment of seeing a possible tornado. So if you are in that area, we do want you to be moving to a place of safety, as we said. And I'll back out a little bit because I've been in real close here for a while. But that's the region that could have a small tornado associated with it. And that's why the tornado warning on it from the National Weather Service. Our severe thunderstorm warnings, which have been in effect to the areas to the north, are getting dropped. A few of those, we still have some strong damaging wind potential in a few areas. But again, the Craig County portion of the severe thunderstorm warning has
okay, captioning is with us after 11.
Yes, until further notice, until we're done with this.
That is correct.
Thank you.
Flash flooding, multiple flash flooding areas going on right now. We have retention ponds in the vicinity of Highway 51 and 169 are nearly full and
saying hi
to
again.
overtop their banks. That's in Tulsa from amateur radio reports. Flash flooding, and that's getting serious when even the retention ponds are in the same situation. So we do want you to be advised, if you live in a low-lying area, that there is a capability that you could get into a flooded area pretty quick, and that's why at least getting to a safe zone is a very important thing for us. We're looking at the heaviest of the rains right now, continuing to track across central Craig County, and then that extends back to the south and to the east to around Spavinaw, to around Salina. We continue with our storm
we have the weather wall.
located
You
near
think he's ever going to do
Tahlequah,
the weather wall?
And on the east side of Tahlequah, there's just enough on this circulation
So I
feature
heard.
now, and you can just barely make it out. It's just right on the east side of town, and that's where we have the circulation
What
at its
in the
most
world?
distinct at this particular moment. And we're going to take a close inspection again. Circulation still looks like it's going to continue around Welling and on the east side of Tahlequah. So if you're in that area, we still want you to be advised. This is where we're concerned at this particular moment. Circulation pattern is about the same, just a little bit weaker than it was about 5 minutes ago.
One of these
but now moving up
boxes
toward the Briggs area and near Eldon and the east side.
Apparently, one of these boxes
and that's where we want
routes
you to note that
John
it's
Cox,
best to get away from outside windows and walls, move to
all of the
interior
PCRs
until that has passed your area. It's now past at Jolly Gee Village, and as
so I'm trying